Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of High Rollers D&D, the premier Dungeons and stream. Fuck, even made me laugh.
Mark
What? It wasn't me. Welcome, everyone, to a lovely game.
Yum yum.
Yum yum. Dungeons and Dragons, yum yum. As we're going to play some Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition in our epic ongoing campaign set in the world of Aerois, written by moi. And joining me are my lovely friends. Here they all are. We've got Rhiannon, we've got Tom, we've got Katie, we've got Trot,
yum yum,
and Kim.
yum yum.
We've all got new toys. Trot's discovered the power of his new toy and what he can do with it. So expect a lot of this in the future. Yum yum. A couple of things before we get started on today's episode. We've got a lot of stuff. There's a big recap because last week's episode was a pretty big one. Squad, it was a pretty big old session last
big
week.
one, Squad fam.
Squad fam.
It was pretty dope lit AF.
Gamers.
Fam. Gamers. But before we go into that,
Jeez.
me and Tom talk like that all the time. We're super
Kim,
cool
no.
pro mega gamers.
We're
Don't
elite.
you dab. I see you.
1337.
To save us from this madness, Chris Trott is going to tell you about our sponsor, our returning sponsor. They were back last week. They're with us for a while yet. Our wonderful dear friends at D&D Beyond. Chris Trott.
That's right. Because D&D Beyond is fantastic, I'm staying in this box, by the way. I've maximized my sponsorship time to promote it for you. Turns out 11 sentences is the perfect amount. Every letter matters. So here goes. The best digital tool set for D&D 5th edition, D&D Beyond has it all. Boom. Roll fancy 3D dice in a variety of animated designs across your sheet. Ay caramba. Or perhaps create and run the campaign yourself, easily tracking the party and combat encounters. The power. Try the phenomenal search engine, instantly finding the rule or creature you need. Sick. Totally customizable with homebrew features allowing you to add spells, items, subclasses, and more, like a personal D&D wiki. I cannot recommend using it enough. High Rollers would not be the same without it. I'm serious. Seriously, there's no reason not to. You can make a free account and try out the basic rules and character creation for yourself. It's a snap. Could I forget Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft? It's available to pre-order now. Hello. Oh. And if you get it on D&D Beyond, you'll get special themes and horror dice too. Bingo. Okay. I could go on about D&D Beyond all day, like how good the articles are for inspiration for your characters and campaigns, but I have to shut up. Links are in chat and the description. Sign up right now. Hurry. Now that was a perfectly normal read, right? Totally fine.
That was perfectly normal, Chris Trott. No dramatics,
Special
no theatrics.
11 sentences that the first letters of each sentence and the last letter of each sentence does make a secret phrase. So enjoy figuring that one out.
Oh.
I mean, yeah, when you put in the random hello, I kind of figured that you were doing something with the last phrase.
That's
well, thank you very much.
Some homework at some point.
Some little homework for somebody. Somebody will figure that out by the end of this stream, I'm almost certain.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, D&D Beyond. Please do check and use the links
in like 2 minutes. I guarantee you.
Yeah,
Someone
it's
will
probably by the
pop up
time the
somewhere.
dun-duns are done. Yeah, they'll be finished. Please do use the link in chat. Check it in the video description and the podcast as well. Using that link and signing up or buying a book or doing a subscription whilst you've used that, after you've used that link, that is such a huge help to us. Like a lot of people, people ask how they can support us. You don't have to donate. You don't have to buy stuff. Like literally just clicking that link and making an account or clicking that link and going and like interacting with D&D Beyond is a way to help us so that you can go and do. So please go and do that and give lots of love to our friends at D&D Beyond who are doing a load of their own streaming stuff as well at the minute.
Oh, what if
that
the
was
message? What if the message that Trot just had in secret there was the entire thing that you just said? Imagine.
Can you imagine?
Can you imagine?
Even though it's made up of 11 letters per sentence.
Yeah, but can you imagine though? Can you imagine?
Yum.
Yeah.
Yum,
Holy
yum.
crap. What if it's what I
Well.
just said?
Maybe, Tom. I'm gonna leave that to stew in your little brain.
I'm not a
Is there anything
fortune
else? I
teller.
didn't have any other notes this week.
I don't think so. Mark.
No, I don't think there is. Which means it's time for Dun Duns, and then we're gonna go over what happened in last week's episode because it was a doozy.
Yum yum.
It was a doozy.
Wow, what was that?
Such a delay. Hello, and welcome back to High Rollers. Last time, a shadow falls over the world of Aerois. The planar-spanning empire of Valkalis Valkyrian that attacked the world 500 years ago now prepares to do so again. Emperor Callus Valkyrian believes that the magical Genesis relic at the heart of Aerois is the only thing capable of stopping the ex-god turned elder evil, Hadar, from consuming the multiverse. With fleets of astral ships and armies of angels, devils, elementals, Eladrin, and orcs at his command, Callus cannot be ignored. The leaders and representatives of Aerois are gathered together in the grand sky city of Horizon to discuss this threat. Our party, officers of the airship the Stormchaser, join to tell their experience with Valkyrian's forces and the threat of Hadar. During the meeting, Callus himself surprises all by delivering a message across Aerois. He offers each individual an opportunity to surrender to his forces and be folded into his empire, given new homes and rights as citizens. Shocking everyone, he reveals that two of Aerois' major factions, the Commonwealth of Gisela and the Ganassi city of Vortensar, have already agreed to join him. He warns Aerois that the barrier that protects them from planar assault will fail in less than 1 year, and that when it does, he will bring the might of his empire to bear against anyone who still opposes him. In a private meeting with Horizon's leader, the powerful sorceress Danica Bloodfire, the party discusses this revelation, and Keelek uses his ability to glimpse the future to witness what will happen if Callus succeeds and uses the world engine against Hadar. A nightmare scenario unfolds in Quill's mind. Hadar only grows infinitely stronger and consumes everything across all planes in existence until there is absolutely nothing left. The party must now decide their path, as war looms, their own time short, and many still needing their help. That's a general catch up to where we are now in this lovely campaign.
Yeah. Oh, well.
It's all going
Oh,
really
well.
well. Super well.
Great.
Everything
Wow.
is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of a team.
Which team?
There
were-
are... Which
Which
team?
team, Nova?
That's a good point. I believe that the general consensus, certainly with Danica and Sky Prince Aradan of the Sky City of Gusthaven, is that they stand against Callus, which they believe is where the Stormchasers also currently stand. But there are still many unknowns. Many of the leaders and representatives, you don't know where they stand. You don't know on which side of the line they will fall. There was also a couple of small other things to mention. Nova had received a message that her family were in danger or being transported. You weren't quite clear on the messaging, but they have been teleported into Horizon by her old professor, Professor Whitsong, and a request has been made of the city to find them. You also have Petal, Century's long lost. I'm trying to think of the right word here. Ward, I guess you would call Petal, a princess, a former princess of the lost kingdom of Solvin, who has now been discovered, who's grown up a little bit, but has been discovered here in Horizon and is now residing within the Citadel. And there's a few old friends lurking around as well, including Arvel Dagus, a dwarven merchant, whom you are all quite close with. And that is fully everyone pretty much caught up on what's going on.
Nice.
Yeah. So, my friends.
I personally think we
What
should
now?
start with Nova.
Sure.
Why? I ain't got.
You got nothing to say?
Where are we? What are we doing? Send me a scene, DM.
Well, you are. The last thing we left was that you were still in the Citadel of the Reborn, the kind of headquarters of Horizon, the seat of Danica's kind of government. You have suites there. My assumption is that after meeting with Danica and having these kind of very intense discussions, you may probably have retreated to your suites to decide what you want to do next. The plan is that Danica will bring back all of the representatives and the leaders to continue the discussion that was ongoing before Callus's interruption. But there's definitely been some time set aside for people to kind of collect their thoughts, gather their thoughts, and the plan is for those talks to resume tomorrow morning, which gives you about half a day. Yes, Chris Drop.
We don't know about Quill's vision yet, do we?
He did tell you.
Yeah, he
did
told
tell
us.
Yeah.
It was when we met with.
Correct.
We were with Danica.
Because he told Danica what he saw. He basically,
Yeah.
Tom did the thing where he says, everything Mark just said, I tell you that.
No,
be
I
fair,
kind of just said it doesn't work.
There's a lot
Yeah, that's
happening.
true, actually. You kind of,
So-
yeah.
It don't work.
To set the scene for
Cool,
Nova,
fam.
who's going to go first, definitely. Lucius is sat on a table,
Sounds like Lucius is going first.
rubbing his temples in stress,
Sure.
thinking about the next step that Nova's about to blurt out.
Yeah. I'm looking directly at Nova. And then
Expecting.
where a watch would be.
Well, I
And then
mean,
I'm-
your family just popped up in the city, so I think everyone would kind of be like, "You're good. Gonna go and, do the thing."
Well,
See
yeah.
people.
I guess in between going from the Danica's chambers to our chambers, Nova would be asking Rain, can she go and look for her family? But I'm guessing they'd be like, no, you got to sit here and wait. So
Yeah, I think Rain would, when you ask that, Rain says, Miss Vida, I've dispatched the word, as we discussed. I've sent word to all of our guard posts to be on the lookout. They will be brought here. I very strongly advise you not to leave the Citadel. Given the statement that has just been made and the current situation with the summit, I do not believe it to be advisable for you to leave. You are not prisoners. I am not going to stop you leaving. My concern would be how this would look to perhaps the other dignitaries, to the other representatives. There may be an element of favoritism. We are keeping the others currently confined to the Citadel. I understand that yourselves and Miss Danica, Steward Danica, have a bit more of an understanding, but I really would not like you to leave. But I assure you, all of our guards will be alerted, and we'll bring them here as soon as they're found.
Titan and River, are they still here?
The last time we checked, yes. Again, Danica will not keep them prisoner if they wish to go back to Vortensar, but they are here for now.
If I could request, can one of your guard ask them to return my letters to me? Thank you very much. I don't think I should ask them in person because I'm going to say some very unkind things and probably cause a diplomatic incident.
I will have that requested, yes.
But you'll tell me, right?
Other than
You'll
that-
tell me as soon as you hear from my family.
Of course, Miss Vija. We will have them brought here. They will be guarded, protected. We will have them brought to this very suite for you as soon as we know exactly where they are in the city. Normally around the evening times, there is a general check-in from all of our guard posts. We will know where they are by this evening, I am certain.
Okay. Rain, just one last thing. I was really unkind to you before when we first met, and I want to apologize for that. It turns out I'm really bad at figuring out who isn't trying to lie to us, and I thought you were trying to lie to us, and then you're not, and then it turns out the people that were lying to us were my own people and elected representatives, and yes, I'm really bad at this, and I'm sorry. I know you're doing your best. Thank you.
It's part of the job. It's part of the job, Miss Vija. My role here is to ask questions. A lot of people do not like being pried, their private lives being pried into. I've long since accepted that. I can understand that to a certain extent myself. But it is also my job. And we never know who we can really trust. We can make our best guess. We must deal with the consequences and move on. It's the only way that we can move forwards. I will let you know as soon as I know. If the rest of you require anything, please contact me. The guards outside will be able to reach me immediately or send word for me if necessary. But I must, please, for the moment, stay here until the conversations can be resumed. I have a feeling that many will not return for the second round of discussions, but my hope is that we can retain as many as possible.
Okay.
This is good, Nova. This is
and-
good. We know your family's safe, at least. Were there any other siblings or anything like that?
Well, I guess there's Tornado who's out doing sky jousting, but I don't know if he was, I don't know where, whoever knows where he is. He never checks in. I thought maybe he could be around, but at least definitely it'll be my mom, my dad, my sister, my professor. They're here. It's okay. I'm fine. It's fine. Everything's fine.
That's something. We need to grasp onto what hope we have right now and forge a plan ahead. Have you had any thoughts? Quill, Sentry, Ayla, anything?
Well, we need to somehow let Starbane know that his plan will not work at all. We also need to find a way to make him believe us. How the hell do we do that? Someone so hell-bent on taking the world engine.
Yeah, he's a bit of a dick, so I don't really know how that's gonna work. Anyone wanna
One thing he cares
have any
about.
suggestions on making friends? Making friends with the big bad?
We already are friends with the thing he cares most about, and that's his daughter, Vala. If we can get to her, she can get to him.
Great. So, get Vala back. Step 1.
Not necessarily even getting her back. Maybe we go to her as well.
Okay. I mean, Vala
I
will
could,
believe us.
If any
I
harm
could try
came
and
to
cast
us,
Dream.
you could try and cast Dream. However, I think it would
That
be
would
potent
probably work.
if we arrived as ourselves in the presence of Starbane. If anything happened to us in front of Vala, I don't think that would work in his favor trying to sway her.
If we just turn up on his ship, his gang of horrible people will try and just kill us, though. How do we just appear to talk to Vala and him without,
Well, Nova, maybe
Getting
the
killed.
dream will be useful there. So Vala could maybe open up an invitation.
We also have the Wings of Ishtar, remember?
Maybe.
True.
Yeah, we need to protect them. I'm very aware that I've just handed out data pads to people we thought we could trust, and at least 2 of those nations have sided with Starbane, and now they have what we know. So he knows what they know, what we know about him.
Oh,
Could
also,
we ask Rain to go and, like, yoink the yoink? Nah, not yours anymore.
Maybe.
Let's take that back.
It might-
I mean,
Might be
he
too
already
late,
knows
though.
that we know about Project Vanguard. If Democles knows, Starbane most likely knows. So it's no surprise to him.
He doesn't know that we know that they know, but that he knows that, yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on here.
That's the thing. We need to hold on to the things that we know that he doesn't know that we know about him knowing, you know? But anyway,
mean,
Lucius
if
goes
he
back to
doesn't-
rubbing his temples.
either way,
But he doesn't
what
know
Starbane
that
doesn't
we
know
know
about
that
Wings
he
of Ishtar.
knows.
What Starbane doesn't know is what we know, and that is that he's going to take the world engine from Aerois and crumble it. And when he feeds the world engine to Hadar, and that's all he's doing, feeding Hadar, it will destroy everything. He doesn't know that, but we know that.
But he knows that we were talking about Valor. So it's going to be even harder to contact Valor now.
But
Or
if Valor is
free her,
anything
or-
more than a tool for him, he won't crumble Aerois with her on it. So do we get Valor back here? We have to, right?
Yes, but also, I think there is a point about, confronting him with Vala there, and, because she can maybe make him see more reason than us, given that he hates us quite a bit. Quite a bit.
This is
the
the man who
last-
killed Siaska, remember? The
Yeah.
woman he loved. He killed her for what he believed in. Who knows what he could do?
Very true. Very true. He don't care about no one. Certainly not us. Maybe not Vala. We don't know.
I'm going to go ahead and say it. I think he might be Hadar touched. If he was driven to the point that he would kill someone he loved, if he's driven to the point that he's closed off his ears, his eyes, his heart to everyone, we've seen that before, right? We've seen that single-mindedness.
True.
In centuries. If he was Hadar touched, he would have been something else by now. Not retaining his normal person of what we know. Everything that we've seen that's Hadar touched has a form of the red.
But he's
The glow.
But it
Powerful.
is
Incredibly
Callus
powerful.
Starbane.
Maybe he can control it.
Well, let's not rule it out, I guess. But how would that help us?
Just
Just
try
knowing
and
that-
figure out how to cleanse it. If it is true, we've cleansed it before. Do we want to try to get Starbane on our side? I mean, Sentry, after what he did, what do you want to do with him?
I think you know.
Exactly.
He would be a powerful ally.
We've got a lot of powerful allies
But-
down here that we need to now work even harder to recruit because, he sent that message to them telling them that he was going to destroy the world, yada yada, chance for survival. So, we now have an even more difficult job of making those people like us instead of him.
Yes.
Maybe if we get them all on our side and then go to him for Vala and be like, hey, we got all these people. Can't have them, bitch. Or something.
We maybe not say bitch, but close
Oh,
enough.
but he is, though. He is.
Also, we potentially have to worry about the unification of Aerois in this entire process too. 2 continents joining his side. That's civil war. That's it could be disastrous. Splitting forces between defending from the skies and defending in the land against their own, well, against themselves essentially. Maybe we try and convince those leaders of what we know. Get them to rejoin Aerois. But how do we do
Well,
that?
if you could just work out a way to get the things that you've seen in your brain from the eye just, on a data thing like Nova has, that'd be so much easier. Just, here you
I
go.
can
Or
doodle it.
proof.
I can doodle it.
Maybe
Wait.
some
I
sort of
have
Would
seen
be
your
protection.
the
drawings.
doodle.
They're not as good as Nova's. Nova could doodle it.
How
Huh?
about
Huh?
how about we have the dream spell, do we not? You can invoke someone into
Yeah.
that dream. And with that dream you can conjure imagery. Can you not?
Yes.
Quill, can you conjure the memory of what you saw in a dream to someone else? And because it's a dream and a spell, can that be put into something?
Possibly, but I mean, you can conjure pretty much anything in a dream. I could make up
You're right.
anything as I go, right? And they'd probably know
Yes.
that. Or maybe they wouldn't.
You're right. Just a thought. Either
There
way,
must be
we
a
need...
way, though, a way to recreate it like a holographic projection. Maybe if there's a way that I channel the spell through technology, some of this data crystals or something like that. There must be a way.
It's worth looking at because, at the moment, Quill is the only one, and, we trust Quill, obviously, but nobody else has any reason to trust him except us.
Hey, what if I've been
and the
lying
things
this
in
entire
his
time?
brain.
No,
Whoa,
I'm not
plot
lying, that
twist
was a
there,
joke.
buddy.
Quill.
No, I'm the good guy. I'm the good guy.
Don't even. Don't even.
Not the time for that.
I'm already
sorry.
hesitant from the zone of truth a
I'm
moment.
sorry.
Nevertheless.
Maybe.
Maggie?
Maybe if there was a way to cast Zone of Truth, something like Dream and Major Image, and channel what is in Quill's head, there would be a way to pull the image out, make it real, but also cast Zone of Truth so you know that what he's projecting is the truth. Oh, there's got to be a way to do that. Come
Get
on,
them to
Nick.
cast Zone of Truth
Interesting.
on me.
Yes.
I can't lie.
There you go.
Yeah.
And
Can't
they
lie under
know
that.
when you resist it or not.
Exactly.
That's a step. However, we need a first step in our grand scheme of winning Aerois back for the people, against Starbane's propaganda, and also convincing Starbane that his entire plan is going to destroy all of reality as we know it. Where do we
Okay.
begin?
I think the Guardians is probably a good place to start. Sentry, they're all waiting for you. You got a whole little chunk of Guardians sitting and waiting
They're
for,
waiting.
the Prime.
in potentially
So would
enemy
Giselle.
territory now.
Exactly.
I think that
This could
might
be
be
a
a good
really-
first step, Get in there, get them out before that continent goes to shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I really need to get over there and help. I've just kind of left Herald to their own devices, admittedly, but I thought it would be safe. This has
It's
become
been a
lot
bit of
more
a busy time,
complicated.
though, hasn't it? World's a bit on fire.
On the way, perhaps, Nova, you could try reaching out to Valor again as you did before, and we can
I'll
make
try
a
as
way
soon
with
as-
that.
Yeah. I'll check in with her, see what we can do.
The people we care about are here, under protection. I think they're as safe as they can be. So we can
Yeah.
move, basically. That's what I'm saying. And in fact, all of Horizon can move. Did we forget that?
Yes.
That's pretty
yeah.
badass.
She can move the entire Sky City, yeah.
I forgot that.
That's wild.
I just remembered.
Should we figure out what allies we actually have for this raid on Tassadar? Yeah, the Wings of Ishtar, obviously. Potentially the Dragonborn. I mean, almost definitely the Dragonborn.
Definitely the Dragonborn,
Yeah.
but they will not do what we want them to do. They might just go in all guns blazing and really make everything bad for us. Who knows? Because it's them.
I don't think that they would let Tassadar free. I feel like they would perhaps use Tassadar for their own means.
I don't think they'd really care what we wanted to get out of it. Because they're very one-track mind.
However, if we can claim the Tassadar, that's another
That would be
Tiangong.
huge.
Very powerful. Either way, Quill's right. We should know who our allies are in the grand scheme of things as well. On Horizon, the people in that
We
meeting.
need to know, who stands with Valkyrian after today, and who stands with Aerois.
Well, we'll probably talk about that when everyone sort of reconvenes after stuff's kind of died down a
Is
little
there
bit.
another section of the meeting happening? Is
well,
it over?
we have to get back
Rain
together.
did say that they're going to resume the conversations tomorrow. They said tomorrow morning they're going to resume the summit with this new information.
That's when we find out then. We'll make sure we know where everybody
Giant
stands.
zone of truth. Giant zone
The
of
biggest.
I would absolutely
It's
expect other nations to join Starbane. It's too good an offer.
Then we need to
Well,
come up
then
with
we
a
just need
case.
to tell them that they're wrong and they're dumb and stuff, you know?
Such great
Foolproof.
diplomacy.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
Don't be a dumbass, bitch.
Quill,
Done.
Yes.
the meeting. Zone of truth on you
Yeah.
by a representative, anyone, and you speak your truth about what you saw to everyone at that meeting.
Yeah.
Mm.
I can do that.
That could be a start. Whether they believe it or not, it could be a powerful tool to sway people back against Starbane.
Let me just go through my mind of how Zone of Truth works real quick.
I mean,
Well, while
And
you
you-
do that,
I'm sure.
Keelek, go on, Nova.
Mhm.
No, I was just going to say that I'm sure that there's other people at the meeting that can cast it, and maybe it would be best to get a neutral third party to cast it, like the Siaska, Siaska lady.
I feel like it
They
would be a
Navarre.
common
Starcaller.
theme.
Mind
Starcaller Navarine.
that one.
For diplomacy, I'm
That's a
sure
good
it's
idea.
common, right? To have someone capable of Zone of Truth.
I believe that the last time Danica just had somebody else cast it, she has like attendants there that can cast a variety of spells.
Right? If people don't trust Danica,
They cast
for
it on us
example.
when we got
Yeah.
to the city. They cast it on all of us anyway, so they'll have people
Yep.
who can do it.
Yep.
The guards
Absolutely.
and stuff.
The only complication I can think of, everyone will then know about the Eye of the Storm.
I think it's worth the risk, considering all of reality is at stake. If people side with Starbane,
Okay.
however, it does
I'm just-
paint a target on us.
It's up to you, Quill. Maybe it's something that we establish people's loyalties before we even talk about the magic eye, because
It's
I feel like
fine.
there's
we
an
already,
initiation to get to that
already
knowledge.
we already have a target painted on us, and if people that are
Exactly.
sided with Valkyrian, if they hear what I say to be true, maybe they'll change their minds. Who knows? Either way, there's a target on us. There's already a target on me. Why not make it a little bit bigger?
Unless there's anything else, I'm assuming you guys have been having this conversation for a while. Some food is brought to you. You guys, eat and have moments to relax and things like that. In the evening, you hear armored boots coming from the door. Rain enters. Sorry to disturb you, but I thought I should let you know that Miss Vija's family is on their way now. They're being brought here. I don't believe your suite has enough rooms, but I have set up a similar suite just down the hall. We're currently in the process of warding it. So give us a few hours and we should have that finished, but they are on their way here now. I thought I should let you know so you can be prepared.
Ooh, is this how you all felt when you saw my mother coming over?
Yes, yes.
Oh, this is delightful.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Families.
Yeah.
It's very exciting.
Maybe if
can't
there's
wait.
space. How many of your family coming over?
How many is it? Is my brother there?
3 that we have accounted for.
We can put Quill's mum in there. We can put Petal in that room. Everyone could be nearby.
She already has a suite, my mother. But I
Right.
mean, Sure.
I think it best not to have, not to overpopulate these suites. If there was anything to happen, we don't want anything to happen to everyone at once, after all.
Oh. Is that possible? Oh. Right.
It's whether it or not is possible, Mr. El Ernesto, it's my duty to be cautious of the possibility of it. Still, it shouldn't be too much longer now, Nova. And with that, Rain just bows his head, kind of, strokes the very scrappy, thin beard, and then makes his way out of the room and heads off. And sure enough, maybe 5-10 minutes later, you hear kind of more armored footsteps, but this time it's accompanied by voices, like voices echoing down the hallways. You hear, obviously, I'm not going to be able to sound like Kim, but imagine a kind of older, kind of more kind of mature sounding Nova. What is going on? Where are you taking us? Why can I not speak with my daughter? I want to speak with her immediately. And like people, and then you just hear her like, calm down, dear. They're taking us to a, we should just relax. It's been very stressful. Let's just take it easy. No, I'm with Mum. We should fight our way out of here. Like, how do we know we can even trust these guys? Like, there's these kind of like all these different voices. The last one being a younger girl's voice. And then soon enough, you hear like one of the guards cough, please, this way. And then the door opens, and being led into the room are 3 Ganassi. The first one to step through is probably the who would appear to be, she's about as tall as Nova is, but looks younger. But where Nova has a kind of very scholarly, nerdy look, this, and it's strange, she almost looks like a combination of air and water Ganassi. So she kind of has like these kind of like bright water blue eyes, but then her hair is almost like a kind of like cloud. There's almost like raindrops coming out of her hair that spill onto like her shoulders. All the clothing is tailored to kind of be water resistant and things like that. But she looks much more athletic, all kind of dressed in light blue. And she kind of comes in with her fists up, and she's like looking around, like ready to start a fight. And he's like almost scoping the room out. Closely followed behind her is a much taller, willowy, like water Ganassi man. He has this really long hair that almost flows like water down his back, but it's tied back by this kind of braided headband, basically. He's wearing shorts and sandals, and a loose kind of paint-splattered shirt that he appears to be wearing. And he's carrying like a little kind of bag that he's got with him. And he's kind of looking around a bit more nervously, but also kind of relaxed. He's kind of just like checking everything out. And then kind of pushing her way past the two of them is a short, older-looking Nova, like a mature-looking Nova, dressed in yellow. She has a chef's apron on still over her clothes. She's carrying a small bag. She has a kitchen knife that's been obviously given back to her, tucked into her waistband. And she's kind of looking around in a huff, and then she sees Nova. And you just hear her kind of just like a, Nova, what is earth is going on? And she kind of rushes forward with you, and like Aurora, your sister, also bounds up. And it's just like, hey, what's going on? And like they kind of wrap their arms both around you. Your dad kind of just follows, like plodding along behind, and eventually joins in this group hug, but it's much slower. And he's just kind of like, oh, it's good to see you. And he just kind of like wraps his hands around.
Yeah, it's a mess. Like for a minute, you see Nova take a deep breath and try and compose herself. But as soon as she sees her mum, she loses it and runs over, massive hug, and is just a blurb of like, oh my gosh, Mum, I missed you so much. Oh my God, my stupid sister, I missed you too. Dad, get over here. Oh my God. And just like dissolves in like a puddle of just like trying to get as many hugs and kisses in. And yeah.
You see that where Nova is kind of blubbing and being very emotional, her mum is kind of just like, oh yes, like patting her back, but it's very kind of matter of fact. The sister is kind of just like, I'm not stupid, and is like kind of like, playfully kind of hugging. But the dad is a mess. Like as soon as Nova starts crying, the dad is just like, oh, I missed you too, and he's like, I don't know what's been going on. It's been so scary. And he's just kind of like tears. His tears almost like flow, and then they kind of get pulled into his hair. Like these tears kind of flow down his cheeks and then get sucked into his watery, long flowing hair. But yeah, there's this very big reunion.
much.
Oh, it's okay. Yes,
Yeah.
it's just like it's fine now. It's fine. It's fine. Your mother's just like, oh, enough of that, both of you. Come on, we're here now. Things, I don't know what's been going on, but we're all here together. Oh, Jocelyn, and then she turns, and stood in the doorway is another figure, not a Ganassi this time, but an elf woman, a high elf, similar to Lucius, kind of a high elven woman, pure blue, sky blue eyes, long dark hair. She looks a little bit older than some of the others. She looks like a more mature woman, dressed in very scholarly robes, and she looks a lot more tired and maybe a little beaten up compared to the parents. She actually looks like she's been through some stuff, and she just nods her head in your direction, Nova. I'm glad that we could get everyone together again.
Professor, what happened?
That is a very long story.
Did they attack
I
you?
think we should not a very long discussion, Nova, and I'm still not entirely sure of exactly who we can trust around here. Take it, but I think that once we're all settled in, we should have a conversation. Your parents have some information as well. Welcome. Well, hello to the rest of you. And she just kind of nods her head at each of you. The parents here are kind of like suddenly realize that being watched and stuff, and compose themselves.
I'm so pleased to meet all the Vegas.
This one's very.
Mother Vegas.
This one is very forceful. Lovely to meet you.
Yes.
The mother is very kind of like, mother. You don't know her name yet, but Nova's mum is kind of just like very nice to meet you, and is offering a hand, and is being very sort of like, not respectful, but very kind of more serious. The dad is just like, hello, yes, lovely to meet you. And he's like, I'm a hugger, come in. And he's like, oh, sorry about the water. And he's like, you're getting splashed by his hair, but he tightens you into a hug.
Lovely. Quite warm.
Hi.
And yeah,
Hi,
he pulls you in.
Do introductions. I should do introductions.
Yes, please introduce us.
I can introduce
us to your friends.
Okay.
Yes, please do.
Mum, this is everyone. Everyone, this is Mum. This is my mum, and this is my dad, and this is my sister Aurora, and this is my professor, Professor Whitsong. She taught me everything that I know. And I don't actually.
Nova.
Mum, what's your name? I don't actually know your name. You're just Mum to me. What's your name? I don't know. How do I introduce you, Mrs. Vija? I don't know. What?
She introduces herself. She's just like, hello, my name is Breeze. I am Nova's mother. I'm a chef in Vortensar. Pleasure to meet you all. We know a little bit about you from some messages that we received from Nova, that you've been traveling together, and very grateful for you for keeping Nova safe. But yes, it seems that things have gotten a little bit more complicated of late. This is Wade, my husband. Hello, everyone. Yes, hello, I'm Wade. I'm an artist. You can probably tell by all the paint on me. I do watercolors. It's very, very bewildering.
The water, I assume.
I do, yes. It's straight from me. That's part of my whole thing. It's marvelous,
so
isn't
efficient.
The sister steps forward like, she didn't properly introduce me because I'm clearly the best sibling, and she's jealous of how cool I am. I'm Aurora. I am half air ganassi and half water ganassi, which makes me super special. And this nerd, and she grabs Nova into a headlock and is just like, and she's like, can't do anything that I do. And like, she's like wrestling her around, and you can see like she's pretty burly. Because you called me a loser. And then she's like ruffling her like cloud hair and stuff. I'm her little sister. Not that you could really believe that.
It's lovely to meet you, Aurora, Breeze, and Wade. I really hope Nova's been keeping in contact with you while we've been gone.
To an extent, yes, a little bit. Yes, she sends us the occasional messages, and she's recently learnt to send us magical messages, I suppose. Some bizarre magic. I'm afraid we're not a very magical family. Nova's really the only one who's had these sort of powers before. I'm just a chef. Wade's an artist. Aurora does do a bit of fighting. There's a bit of a sport in Vortensar. She's quite good. And then, our son Cloud. Tornado. I keep forgetting to use his stupid jousting name. He's a bit more of a sort of athletic type. He does sky jousting and things like that.
I haven't been able to find him. I've tried. Apparently he was here, but we just missed him. But I'll see if we can send a message to him and let him know that everyone's here.
I think if you can, Nova,
so
yes.
I will.
Go
I will.
on. Go
so
speak. I know not to stop you when you're in your thing.
This is Lucius, and he's a
I'm
high elf,
Lucius.
and he's
I'm a
awesome,
high elf.
and he's captain of our ship, and
I'm
he's
captain,
amazing,
Mr.
and he's
Salute.
the best high elf. Oh my god, yeah. And then this is Ayla. She is so strong. Ayla, flex.
Aurora's definitely just like
Hi.
hell,
What's
like
up?
oh cool. Like Aurora's looking at you like I'm meeting somebody who's like, you know, it's like, you know, you go to the gym and you see somebody who's like mega ripped and you're like, man, I want to be like them. She's
I
like,
think Ayla's like always when everyone does all this hugging stuff and like really emotional stuff, Ayla's just kind of like, I'm just gonna stand over here and like, you get on with that. I'll talk to you later.
sure.
Kinda.
Yeah. Well, they kind of like
Flex
admire
my
you.
bar.
Wade does offer Wade comes up to hug you. I don't know if you are gonna stop him, but he's just like, I'm a hugger. I'm sorry, and he goes to like reach for.
I feel like she'd accept it, but she's like, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
You get like splashed
Ayla's
like
not a
with
hugger.
water. Like you come away, like your cheek is all wet, like part of your hair is damp. You're like, you know, where he's left this impression. But he's like pats you on the back. He's like, it's lovely to meet you. Great vibes from you. And then he kind of steps away
Yes.
and
Yes,
lets Nova
vibes.
continue.
And this is Quill. He's an Aarakocra. I can't speak. I'm so excited. He's an Aarakocra.
Aarakocra.
And he's
We know
a
what
messenger
Aarakocra
of
are,
Hesper.
Nova. We can tell.
I
Mm.
do. I
Oh.
just can't speak right now because I'm so happy.
Nova,
Just before I screw it up further.
Nova.
Breathe. Okay.
You got it.
Quill, who are you?
Quill, who am I? I'm Quill. I'm an Aarakocra, and I'm a priestess of Hesper, like you said.
Priestess of
Priest.
Hesper. Oh, I
Priestess?
couldn't. I'm not sure if. Oh, my apologies.
Sorry, I got a little bit distracted.
And Quill's amazing. And I made that wing. You see that wing? I made that.
Yeah, look at it. Look. Nova made this.
All three of them look like they don't understand. Like they're looking at it like, yes. Oh, so like, they have no idea. They're like,
Well, okay,
they
this is my
don't seem to
actual
understand
wing.
it.
This is
Yeah.
the one she made. See?
Incredible, marvelous. We
Yeah.
always knew that our Nova was very clever. We always knew. I mean, did you design it? How does it work? Is this magic? We don't. What?
I
fly
designed it
with
from
it.
scratch using, the sketching techniques, Dad, that you taught me, and then all the professor,
Oh,
like all the
good.
stuff
I'm
that you
glad that
taught
your
me,
art
and I
lessons
put it
paid
together.
off, even if you hated them. I'm glad. You get the impression, by the way, it's very obvious. If you've ever hung out with somebody who's got like really weird interests or like does a cool hobby and then you meet their super normie parents, this is that. Like Nova's parents are the most normal people you have probably encountered in your adventures. Like he's wearing shorts and sandals, and they just seem completely unfazed and completely bewildered by everything. And then when you turn to Sentry, they're just like, what? They're just looking at Sentry like they don't understand how this person can be.
And this is Sentry, and she's a guardian. She's thousands of years old. She's pretty sundering, and she's amazing, and she keeps me so safe, really safe. And she likes plants and warm plates.
Does she speak? Like, do you understand?
It's lovely to
I'm
meet
sorry,
you.
we just. Oh yeah, well you do. Yes, lovely to meet you as well. Thank you for keeping my daughter safe. And Breeze like offers her hand, like she goes to shake your hand,
I'll
basically.
pull Breeze in for a hug.
Wade's more of the hugger than me, really. Yes, thank you. And she kind of like pats you, and then Wade is just like, "Come here, yes," and like
pick up Wade and like, it's wonderful to meet members of Nova's family. Oh, she's kept us safe many times as well. Don't you worry about it. She's quite the strong fighter.
Aurora's just like, yeah, right. Come on. How does she really? Was she use like a bow or something? What does she really do?
She saved us from a spaceship. She saved us in the middle of space. It was amazing.
Yeah, but like by doing maths or something, right? She didn't actually fight anybody.
I mean,
she's using magic actually. Magic.
Oh, so yeah, that's fine. Magic's for nerds,
not the physical
so it's
stuff,
fine.
you know.
Yeah,
we
exactly.
tried to do a little bit of training
as
for that.
well. Thinking
Nerd
about
fight
it.
then,
I don't think it's gonna work.
Technically, there was a little bit of a quadratic equation in there. But
I don't know what you're talking
I
about.
don't
I'm
want to
gonna
hear
stop
about
talking now.
exactly. I'm with this one, and Aurora points at Ayla like, yeah, she goes to stand next to Ayla like, cool squad over here.
Ayla doesn't understand
all of this
why
going
she's coming
on-
over to her.
Yeah, she's just like,
Okay.
cool. Like, you know, it's like a little kid who's just like, I want to be like you. I'm going to now focus all of my attention on you. Jocelyn Whitsong, the High Elf professor, while you guys have been doing this, kind of walks into the room. You can see she walks with a bit of a limp. She slumps down into a chair. And for the first time, she like takes some food and water, and she just seems to kind of like quietly just try and recover some energy while all of this is going on, but stays quite distant throughout the whole affair. The guards kind of look at you all, nod, and shut the door, leaving you to this kind of more familial reunion whilst the other rooms are being prepared.
Okay.
Professor, are you okay? Do you need medical assistance?
No, just a little bruised and a bit tired. I've not really been able to sleep, and I've not had much food in the last few days. Is it safe to speak here, Nova? Do you trust
they
these
said
people?
it's warded against scrying. They've been good. I mean, there is a risk that they may be listening in, but they've told us that the room is warded.
I'm just very cautious over everything that's been happening. Everything that's happened in Vortensar. I just don't know who we can trust. I know that you
Vortensar.
care for your families. And at this point,
No.
Nova's family are just like, what has happened, Nova? Vortensar's been fine. Just that they shut down travel in and out of the city for a while. They said that there was some rising tensions going on with some of the nearby city-states and the Sky Cities, and they were just going to close things off for a little bit. But everything's been really good in the city. I mean, you would have loved it. There's all this talk about all this planar magic and all this talk about you sent me that information about the homeworld that they were already talking about it. It's all been extremely exciting. It's all been good. Jocelyn kind of, yes, for some it's certainly been good.
Why didn't you tell me, Mum, if you knew there was stuff about
I didn't
planar
have a way
magic?
of contacting you. I didn't have a way of. I didn't know where you
When
were.
I
I didn't have a
spoke
means
to
of
you.
contact. But it was all so quick. You said that it was only a few words and that I had to pass a message on to Jocelyn. I thought you knew about it. It's just that it all seemed to be connected to the things you were telling me. It seemed like it was just stuff to pass on to the Atlas Academy. They're the ones who told us all about it. They're the ones who made the revelation.
What revelation?
Well, about the homeworld, about this Ganas, and about knowing a way to get back to it, and then there was the snap election. We had to vote for our new counselor again on all of the decisions.
What?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
Talk to me about voting. I need you to tell me exactly what happened. We have been told that there was a vote.
Yes. Yes, it was maybe a couple of weeks ago, after the Atlas Academy made this big breakthrough through planar magic. They said that they'd been able to discover a way to that would be able to help Vortensar, and that they believed that this would be the pathway forward, and maybe make even get us to returning back to the world that we all came from, or that the Ganassi people come from. And then there was a lot of talk. You know me, I don't follow the magic and politics that much. We trust our local council, and I spoke to River, and she said that it was good for Vortensar, and there was another candidate. There was a few other candidates, but they all dropped out of the running, and there was a snap election. They wanted us to re-elect our district councillors. And well, the things they were talking about, they were saying that, there might be war here on Aerois, and if we would, what would we want to do? And they were campaigning for us to focus on the people of Vortensar and make sure that we were safe and that we could return home one day. And I voted for River. She's done our districts for the last 20, 30 years. She's represented us, and she's been fantastic. I just trusted her to do what everyone else was talking about.
And Dad, who did you vote for?
Well, I did what your mother, River. She's always been a good patron of the arts, and they were, talking about safety and security. I mean, how worried we were about you coming out here into the other world. It's not like Vortensar, and we were a bit worried, and they were telling us that yes, there might be war in the future, and that we should. It was very confusing, Nova. It was a lot of things, and they were saying all different things. There was all these music concerts and talking about planar magic being the future for Vortensar and things like that.
Well, that's rich! That's rich that suddenly they're talking about planar magic because it's accepted, because it's not accepted as far as I was concerned. Do you not remember what happened to me about planar magic?
Well, but we thought that's exactly why we thought maybe you might be able to get reintroduced into the Atlas Academy with the sudden change. We thought that maybe that might be a route for you back in. Nova, do not
They
be
expelled
too harsh on
me
your parents.
because of it!
Nova, don't be too harsh on your parents. A lot of people in Vortensar have been told the same things. The Atlas Academy is firmly in the palm of this Callus, this Valkyrian, as is another organization that I think may be responsible for much of the propaganda and many of the, shall we say, oppositional voices. My research was taken a few weeks ago, just before this announcement by the Atlas Academy. They've been keeping me in my quarters. They've taken everything. They were spying on me. I managed to get away, but I've had a few encounters with a group calling themselves the Cypher Academy, a sort of dark shadow to the Atlas Academy.
It's interesting that you
I
should
think
say
Kim's
that,
gonna
considering we've had a
explode.
few run-ins with the Cypher Academy.
They are agents of... I don't believe that the council is fully aware of their actions, but they definitely influence Vortensar society. With the city locked off, there's been more and more going on. Trade has been happening. I think that they may have constructed an active planar gateway. They've been bringing in outsiders, people who have been influencing things. The regular people of Vortensar would have no idea about all of this.
Mum, Dad, do you know who you have voted for? Do you know?
We voted for River to represent the best interests of the city.
You voted for Callus Starbane. You voted for the Valkyrian Empire.
What does that mean?
You know your history. You know pre-Sundering. I know
yes, but that's all Aerosian history. So much of it's been blotted out from everything going on. I mean, what do you mean we voted for him? There's nothing, as far as we know, that there's just a potential for a war, and we voted for our councillor. That's all that we voted for.
He is
We
the one
re-elected
bringing
River.
war here. He's the one bringing war here. He is the reason there is going to be a war.
Well, then why would our councillors agree to that? They said that they found a way back to our home world. Isn't that a good thing?
Because his empire, remember when I showed you the map? His
Yes.
empire includes Ganas. It includes the homeworld where we were.
Nova, you seem to know a lot that we don't. Why is that a bad thing? It's our home world. If we're part of something, we know that there's this history of him attacking Aerois, but if he has this whole empire and it's successful, is that such a bad thing that we'd be part of that? Isn't that where our people are from?
He's a dictator. He's a dictator,
Well,
Mum.
So were the people of Aerois. They prevented us from leaving. Isn't that what happened with Siaska? She forbid us from leaving and trapped us here. That's what they've all been telling. That's what they've been talking about in the city.
That is true. That is true. I was working on a way to get us home. Everything that I sent to
you're
you.
one
person,
person, Nova. This is the whole academy and the council. They can do far more. Like you have good intentions, my dear, but you're one person. This is our whole city united. For the first time in a long time, you know how things have been in Vortensar. The districts are always at each other's throats, but now they're united. Everyone's believing in this one thing.
So
It's never been better.
What's popcorn bag?
You know what,
Damn.
Mum?
I'm jealous. I want popcorn.
Yeah, I do. I want popcorn too. You know what, Mum? I understand. I really do. But to say
Well, I'm glad
that
you do,
Vortensar
because
isn't
we
what it-
don't.
To say that Vortensar isn't what it is today because of Aerois is naive. Aerois needs us, and we shouldn't turn our back on them. If
Well, you say that, but it's a case if it's not. That's a very nice idea, Nova, but we've had trade restrictions. The people of Aerois still don't fully trust the Ganassi. They still restrict our trade. We can't really trade with the Sky Cities. We've not been welcome here. We're still just refugees of a sort, aren't we?
But if there's one thing that being on Aerois has brought us, it's that we, as Ganassi, were stronger together. Mum, I wouldn't exist
And now we are.
if it wasn't for our life on Aerois.
Well,
But-
I mean,
Look
could
at
say a
you!
lot of things
You're an
about
air Ganassi married to a water Ganassi.
Well, yes, and that's
This
and
wouldn't have
now we're
happened
hopefully
before.
going to see more
This
of
wouldn't
that.
have happened before on Ganas. This happened because we pulled together here on Aerois.
Well, we don't know that. We don't know that wouldn't happen. We've never known what life is like back on our home world. And like I said, you're not hearing me, Nova. The four elements have never been more united in these last few weeks. You've not seen the city. It's a celebration. People are excited. People are happy for the first time in a long time. Look, there's clearly something more going on here. You're clearly more aware of these greater threats, but you can't be mad at us for making the decision that we did. We had to look at our lives, about what was happening in our city, and we voted for who we thought represented that best, based on the information that we had. Now, Jocelyn, I bumped into her and gave her the information you asked for, and she told me all sorts of things, and then all we knew is she grabbed the three of us and vanished us away to this new place and told us that we were in danger and that there were people, that our lives were at threat, and now we find ourselves in a sky city with guards that we don't know asking us all sorts of questions. And now you're asking us all these things, but we don't understand, Nova. And I'm trying not to lose my temper. I'm trying to try and keep calm here. But as far as I'm aware, we're very tired.
Here's something really simple for you to understand, Mum. Callus Starbane wants me dead. He wants all of these people in this room dead.
Well, now that seems a bit extreme. Are you? How can you know that?
I've met
He's literally
him.
told us that a few times, so just sorry to interject there. I'll back out again.
She's completely stumped. She doesn't know how to respond to that because it's such an unfathomable idea to her. that her daughter, who she still sees you as like the kid that got expelled from school. She doesn't see you as this world-saving hero.
Mum, the last time I spoke with Callus Starbane, he told me that the next time I would meet him, he would kill me. Now, if you don't believe me, maybe you'll believe someone far more clever than me. Mum, please, just listen for a second. Tiangong, please, help.
Of course, Nova. How would you like me to assist you? Where is that voice coming from? Just looking around.
Mum, I met Tiangong when I left Fort Sa. Tiangong is a powerful being, an ancient race of sentient energy and magic. I am bonded with Tiangong.
Mum kind of like stumbles back and takes a seat down on like the edge of like a sofa or something. It just looks very confused. Wade at this point is just stood there looking silently. Aurora's kind of looking around confused. That is correct, Miss Vija. I am Tiangong, one of the triumvirate of the Eterna. I have bonded in some symbiosis with your daughter. We now share a powerful magical pact. What she says is correct. Callus Starbane has indeed threatened her life as well as the lives of her companions, and now poses to invade Aerois to obtain a device known as the Genesis Relic, the World Engine. This creates life from planets that are dead and Tiangong goes on a long kind of like technical explanation of like, and this is what this is, and this is this, and blah blah blah. Like it's all very kind of techno speak and speaking of magic and stuff like that, and it goes on for a little bit. And Breeze just looks kind of overwhelmed. She just has head in her hands, rubbing her temples, looking very very confused, and doesn't really know what to say.
If you don't believe that, Sentry has direct experience fighting Callus Starbane.
Nova, it's too much right now. It's too much. It's not that we disbelieve you. It's not that I don't believe you. It's that you're saying things that I can't comprehend. The idea that you're speaking to this mythical figure of Aerois' past, that Vortensar is somehow some sort of enemy. I can't comprehend it. We're not as smart as you are. It's not that we disbelieve you. We've clearly done something wrong. Go on, Tom.
Well, Nova, I have to ask, and I mean no disrespect, the Vijas, but what do you expect them to do with this information?
That is actually a good question. I don't know what you want from us, my dear. What do you want?
I wanted to see if I could convince you that you have been lied to, that you have voted for something that was not explained to you, that you...
Well, clearly.
You haven't been told the full facts, because the fact is we need to go to Vortensar and talk to everyone about this, and if I can't convince my own family of the truth, how can I convince Vortensar?
I mean, that sounds like, yes, we didn't know all the facts. What's done is done. The vote happened. We clearly didn't know what we were voting for. We clearly didn't understand the situation. That's on the council. That's on the Atlas Academy. But I also want you to understand that the city you knew has never been better. That right now, there are Ganas from all four quarters working together, spending time together, laughing together. Things are prosperous. Businesses are flourishing. So you are going to have a hard time convincing people, because the life they've known on this world, the life that you've grown up with, it's not always been easy. We've had to rely on each other, not anybody else on Aerois. And now, for the first time, we're prospering under this promise that we've been given. Now, maybe we're wrong. Maybe everyone else is wrong. I don't know. You've certainly convinced me that clearly there's more going on than we realized. But you've got to remember, a lot of people in that city are just like me and your father. We We don't have magic. We don't have these ancient beings that we've bonded with. We're just chefs or tailors or artists. They're not going to be thinking about these bigger pictures. They're going to be thinking about their lives right now. Do I want to go out to war, or do I want to be reunited with my homeworld and see my city, my people flourish? That's what's going on in their minds. So maybe you're right. Maybe we made a mistake. Maybe there's more to all this than we ever understood. But to a lot of people, you can't think of it in the way that you are. You have to think of it like we are. You have to remember that the Atlas Academy, the counselors, they have so much influence. The Academy especially. Everyone adores it and looks up to that as an institute of Ganassi excellence. And if they say that this is a good thing, a lot of people are going to follow. There was a time that if you hadn't been removed from the curriculum, maybe you would have been one of those people telling us this was a good idea.
Well, I think it's somewhat hypocritical that the Academy removed me for reasons that they are now using.
Very hypocritical, Nova. You know as well as I that I also researched a lot of planar magic. A lot of my research was dubious or considered unfavorable, but things have changed. Something changed, whether it was in the Academy itself or within the Council. But the last maybe month, 2 months, they've been feverishly devouring everything they can about planar magic. I've been consulted more in the last 2 months than I have been in decades of my tenure. It's reached a fever pitch. Something happened.
Well, Starbane is very charismatic, and I get it. Everyone here can attest that there was a time when I believed what he said too. I believed in his way. I've just seen that there are strings attached to that. I've seen his empire. I've seen people who have also been promised new worlds or a return to the homeworld. I get it. I really do. Mom, I don't want you to think I'm angry at you. I just...
Nova, we're tired.
There's a lot going on here.
The magic bringing us here, the day that we've had, we're tired and we feel a little lost. Let us get some sleep, and I'm just glad that you're safe. I'm glad that we can see you, that we're here with you. That's what matters to me at the minute. You are safe. We are all together. Everything else, I think that is perhaps best left to people beyond the station of a chef and an artist. But I'm just glad that we're here. And she just kind of comes over and like does give you a hug, a kind of very breeze mum, no nonsense, but soft hug. She kind of backs off, and yeah, one of the guards will probably kind of come in and say like, we do have accommodations ready if any of you wish to retire. They've been warded. We will need to keep it up. Keep the protections every 24 hours will need to be renewed. But Danica has instructed us to help you as best we can.
Professor, obviously you need some rest for now, but I do feel everyone here would love to hear your insights when you're ready. I think you could be really valuable in figuring out what's going on.
I wish that I could be, Nova, but I'm afraid I might not be as useful as you think. I've been kept in my quarters, in my room, in the dormitories for weeks now. I have a small understanding of what's happening in Vortensar, but not much. But yes, I will be able to provide you with that once I've had some rest. She just kind of nods.
Everyone, if you don't mind, I am probably going to go spend some time with my family now, if that's okay. I want to catch up and maybe not have a raging argument about the fate of
course. By all means.
Do what you have to do.
I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Messenger ring.
Sure.
Don't blame them, Nova. They didn't know what they were voting for.
I don't. I know how charismatic Starbane is and the machinations he has in work. Just sad.
Sure.
Your family are there for you, ultimately. Be there for them too. They're tired. We're all tired. Just enjoy being in their presence. Just for now.
Thanks, Lucius. Have a good night, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow.
Sure. Okay.
Have a good rest.
Nova retreats back to a new suite with her family. The conversation turns to more normal matters, and no more big talk of incorrect voting or referendums occurs within the Vegan household. What about the rest of you? Anything that anybody else wants to do or talk about while you guys have the time? Sentry, Lucius, Ayla, Queel. I think during that whole thing, by the way, Arvel and Petal just kind of kept in another room and were like, let's just leave them to it.
Oh, yeah.
And then after Nova's family all leave, they kind of like, Arvel creaks the door open, Petal's kind of luring over his head because he's a dwarf. And they're just like, is it okay if we didn't want to interrupt? We didn't want to intrude. It seemed like that was quite an intense
I'll make some drinks for everybody.
Oh, no, you take it easy. You take it easy there, Captain. Leave old Arvel Dagus to handle this. And he kind of comes out and he starts, like, clattering about in the kitchen, like pots and pans. And
Thank you, Arvel.
He goes into dad mode. Ah, you're welcome. It's good to keep busy.
I think this is a good learning experience for us all, perhaps. This isn't going to be easy. We can't just go and convince people. And you know what? They had a lot of great points. From their perspective, they're getting everything they want back to them. All the things that oppressed them in the past.
Well,
they've been giving
But
it.
it's not the only way they can get that, right? Like, we could potentially get them back to their world a different way if we're talking about planar travel and all that fancy stuff that Nova knows about already and has basically just been waiting for permission to do in the first place.
The trouble
They
is,
can do it themselves. They don't need him.
that's the thing. They can get it without the war. If everything that we say comes with war on top of it, how are we going to convince them that, oh, you get the same, by the way, but we have to go to war with Callus Starbane first? It's going to be difficult.
Freedom. It's giving people the chance to write their own story. Not have it be told to them by someone who believes that they can give it to them.
The trouble is, the truth is not always the thing that people want to hear as well. Starbane has convinced them quite charismatically that everything is going to be great. Or there'll be war. That's quite a simple thing to choose, is it not?
He also thinks that his plan's gonna work, which it doesn't, so...
And I don't
We
want
just gotta
to...
convince people.
I don't want to
Convince
convince
him.
people out of fear as well. That's exactly what Starbane would do. If we convince them that, oh, by the way, all your plans are for naught because reality as we know it will end. That's not exactly inspiring, is it?
And even if his plan did work, Aerois would be destroyed in the process. Starbane is just telling them exactly what they want to hear.
Well, we
We can't offer them any more than that.
No. But we have to prove. Words do something. We have to prove ourselves.
We need to
We're
find a
having this
new
conversation,
plan for, Go on. Destroying Hadar and all of the evil stuff without using the world engine. And we need to then convince people that plan works, and then maybe...
How do we... If we learned anything from what just happened, we can't go into the middle of a town and say there's a big red star that is devouring everything, and Starbane is on one side of the scale, and we're in the middle of it. And
People
by the
don't
way,
know what-
Aerois is made of a world engine.
Yes, they aren't aware of the greater concepts. Well, at least from
They don't-
this one situation. I don't want to assume for everybody. I've been the naive little boy myself. I've learned a lot, and it's taken a long time for me to get used to that. We've only got less than a year to convince all of Aerois to band together against him.
You guys are having this conversation. You know, it's getting to evening time. Pethel's probably kind of sat next to Sentry, just kind of leaning against her. Arvel comes over with steaming hot mugs of some sort of beverage. Smells sweet and milky and chocolatey. Kind of lays them all down. Puts like a little flask, a hip flask in the middle. Kind of looks probably towards Ayla the most. Kind of gives you a nod of like, add some of that to it. I don't know much more than, well, Nova's folks from what I overheard, but I have faith that you, the smart people of this summit, I have faith that you can figure something out. And if you can't, well, maybe he looks up and you can see out the window the kind of cradle, the kind of merging of the multicolors and the stars beyond that just twinkle. She's still up there. Maybe she'll give you a little bit of wisdom and help figure it out.
Oh, you're right. Siaska's at the core of everything. Maybe that's our final push that we need to convince everybody.
There's a lot more people, important people that are already here, and important people, as Arvel says, you know, up there, that we could potentially have an edge with. We gotta try.
What's that that's going in your drink there? Out of interest.
Ooh, that's the good stuff.
It is the good stuff, but I don't know if Lucius could handle it, though, to be honest.
Let the boy try. Let him try.
Oh, sure. Okay. I mean, I'm up for watching that happen.
Liquor, thank you.
Yeah.
Sure, you can. Okay, I'll hand it to Lucius.
I'm an elf.
Yeah, sure.
This is fine.
Bloop, bloop, bloop. Pour it into the hot cocos. Take a swig. It certainly adds a kind of bite to it. That is, you know, Lucius drank a lot of wine. I don't know how many spirits Lucius has really consumed in his life. It's
Not very many.
definitely doesn't make it taste good.
This is disgusting. I don't know why you'd put it in this drink and tarnish it.
Yep. I figured.
See, I'm fine.
Yeah. It definitely feels warm. Kind of tips of the pointed ears are getting a little hot, Lucius. Feel a bit warm, tingly. And yeah, just Arvel kind of just nods. He's like, "You'll figure something out. I have faith." But also, let's all take a note out of Nova's book and get some rest. I think that if y'all have got to talk to these leaders again tomorrow, that's going to be another day of surprises, I'm sure.
Well, hopefully not, because that surprise sucked. Like a lot.
Yeah.
Maybe good surprises.
one of
Let's hope for good
those.
surprises.
Yeah.
Good, yes.
Oh, it
Surprise,
turns out
surprise.
everyone else is not a traitor.
Everybody's on our
Best surprise
side.
ever.
Done.
Maybe.
One can hope.
Yeah.
And yeah, with that, we can probably take a break here. And then when we'll come back, we'll
Yeah.
jump into the next day as the talks resume.
Yeah, everyone,
Man.
every leader has had 24 hours to think about Starbane's message, and now they're all like, you know what? Sure.
Easy choice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Man.
All right. Well, we'll take a break and then we'll pick back up
Very
after the break.
soon.
That's how
Yeah.
breaks work.
That's how they
breaks
work.
work.
That's how breaks
Yeah.
work. Nice. Brap, brap, brap. I'm a priestess of Hesper. Aerois.
I don't know why. I don't know why I said. I think just because Bolero jumped across my desk and it threw me off completely. I don't know what he was doing there. He never does that. Also, a lot of people are demanding I tell everyone about Piri. Hey, I don't know.
That was
I
this
haven't
guy.
played him. I haven't played him.
That was a guy.
Since
He was called
Piri.
I got
Piri.
Quill back. Like, that it was as much a surprise for me. Well, not really as much of a surprise. I mean, come on. They were obviously the bad
I'm
guys.
amazed that you guys remembered what the Cypher Academy was from. I'm surprised that
Oh,
that
I
you could remember
remembered,
that.
Mark. I remembered.
Well, that's the thing. Quill has no idea. I think he said
Quill
about
has
2
no
words to Piri, and no one's ever spoken about him since. So for good reason. So yeah. Anyway, I don't know. But it was damn cool. I love it. I'm going to read some donations.
Massages. Yep.
Massages. Read out some of your lovely massages. We have a very generous donation from Lappenkaiser, and they say, "Hi, rollers. This is my first live show that I can catch. Welcome. Been an avid follower from episode 1 of Aerois. I just wanted to say you are awesome people. Thank you for this game that makes me smile, cry, and cheer every week. P.S. Thanks for all the ideas, Mark." Nice. Yep, steal away. Serico has donated with Praxis Clear Skies. I missed one stream and it all goes to shit. Yeah, that was one to miss. Aman7 Blue has donated with Hi Rollers, been a VOD squad member since 2019, watched all of Lightfall, and now I'm caught up on Aerois. Hope everything goes well and Callus realizes how stupid he is and everyone lives happily ever after. Yeah, that's the plan. I think as long as Starbane just says, like, this won't work, and then just gives up, then we've won. Campaign over. Imagine if that's how it ended. He just meets us and is just like, you guys have got it. You guys carry on. I'm done. I quit. I'm retired. Credits roll. SnakeRat16 with a $20 due. Praxis Val. We interrupt this Erosian propaganda to remind you that the threat of Hadar is ever present. Join the Valkyrian army and help be a part of the solution to this dangerous threat. That's convincing. In all seriousness, love you guys. You got me playing D&D. Wonderful to hear, Snake Rat. It's wonderful. Natalie Hawthorne. This week in my campaign, the PCs fought a boss that I had specifically designed to counter their usual tactics, and they still beat her handily. Oh my god. One of the PC's mums, the drow matron of House Duskrain, unlucky for her, Lolth doesn't like failures. Well, maybe the next boss will take them out. I know they've thrown quite a lot at them, and they keep winning. Unbelievable. Popcorn976 with a quarter hundo. Big brain idea. Get a wish spell somehow and wish Starbane to see Keelek's vision. That's the dream. Ooh. Also, first time watching live and really wanted to donate. Well, welcome, Popcorn976, and thank you very much for the donation. Yeah, I mean, we went through a lot to try and get 2 wishes off Gratz, and we still didn't get those. So, I mean, I don't know about wish spell. I don't know how likely it is we'll get one of those. Crosshairs has donated with Hi-da-ho, rollers. New weekly update. I went from episode 75 to 81. So again, not a lot of episodes this week. Oh, that's a lot of progress. My own session today was cancelled, sadly. That would have meant that I would finally be able to watch live, but of course, I'm not caught up yet. Happy Easter. Happy Easter to you as well, Crosshairs.
Happy
and good
Easter.
Luck with your update. Sad to hear your session was cancelled as well. Wubbaducky75 has donated with, "Hail, love the stream, and since I'm finally full-time employed, I want to give back for the 3 years of entertainment and laughs." Wow, thank you very much. 3 whole years. Thank you very much, Wubbaducky. Squibbies has donated with, "I've been spending the last month and a half catching up on Aerois while I've been at work. Thank you for making my job washing dishes bearable, guys." That's good to hear. That is good to hear, Squibbies. I'm glad you're enjoying it. And Kayla Mondorian, I missed the first hour. Ruddy donations. Ruddy notifications, I mean. Anyway, throws money. Take it. Thank you. Also, what is everyone's favorite beverage? Good question. What is everyone's favorite beverage?
Mud water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Mud water. Why do you say it like that? Mud
How else
water.
would you say it?
Yeah, I just love devouring that filth. And that is, so far, all of the donations. I could refresh, or I could save them for the very end of the stream. Has Mark's camera gotten a lot brighter?
You save them. Yeah,
I'll save them.
It's not there.
Oh. Nice. Hey, you guys,
Brianna,
talk
what are
about
you
your
doing?
favorite beverages.
Oh,
Favorite what?
I didn't get Easter eggs.
Favorite
I'm
beverage?
sad.
Hmm.
I don't have an Easter egg.
I didn't get one either.
Do you mean an
Same.
alcoholic beverage or a regular one?
Just says beverage.
I guess like
Mud water.
Milo. Apart from mud water, Milo is probably mine. It's like a chocolate drink. The Australians made it, and then Malaysians appropriated
colour.
it. Yeah, it's the same color as mud water, which is probably why I like it. It's like sugary mud water, basically.
Yeah, I can see the appeal.
Yeah,
Um,
totally.
Nice.
Do you know what else is really appealing? D&D
Your
Beyond.
face?
So
Oh.
that too. So please check out D&D Beyond.
I meant to insult you there, and that really backfired.
I just got a really sweet ass compliment and said, check out dndbeyond.com, where you can make any character you can imagine and have them all with my face as well, if you want to.
Sorry, I'm back.
It's up to you.
Add a note about your favorite beverage. I'll be really stereotypical and say Iron Brew because Mark will find it amusing. Because once I was in Sainsbury's and I bought a bottle of Iron Brew and Mark saw it, pointed at me and laughed. Because he found the
it's
fact
so
that a Scottish
typical.
person was buying Iron Brew absolutely hysterical.
Sorry, I'm eating a hot cross bun.
Damn you guys and your
Nice.
Easter treats.
Oh, damn.
I have
Meat
no
and chicken.
Easter treats.
I didn't have lunch, so I'm really, really hungry.
I haven't eaten lunch either.
Well,
I'm eating giant Watsits.
Oh, they're so good.
I can't
That's
send
what
you
they're-
my hot cross buns, so. Right, let me get another bite of
I
hot
got
cross
giant
bun.
monster munch the other day. Oh, so good.
A giant monster man.
They are
Giant Monster
amazing,
Munch.
yeah.
It was in a bag like
Giant
this
pickled
big.
onion. Yeah, it's like a big
Yeah.
share bag. And the monster munch are like huge. You have like
So
three and you're like,
good.
that's a packet of crisps.
Yeah.
God damn.
Great.
So nice.
Not sponsored. Can we
Oh,
be
but-
sponsored
Well,
by Monster Munch?
could be.
Please, Monster Munch.
Please.
Hey,
We'd be
It would
sponsored
be
by
great,
Iron Brew
though.
and Monster Munch.
Mr. Munch.
Amazing.
But you know who
Mr.
we are
Munch.
sponsored
Give me
by?
up.
Who are we actually
D&D
sponsored by,
Beyond.
Chris Drop?
I've already done this, Mark.
We did
D&D
this
Beyond.
when you were
Oh,
away.
did you already do it? Fuck, okay. I was getting my hot cross buns.
There's no
all right?
reason not to keep mentioning though,
You-
because it's so
yeah.
awesome, and you should check it out.
You should subscribe and get unlimited characters.
Yeah, we were
Was
talking
it
the other
with
day
the
that Ree has never played without D&D Beyond, and one day I'm going to force her just so she knows the pain.
Please.
Rubbing
character
out the
sheet.
hit points box on a character sheet.
Yeah.
I'd
And
love
watching
to
the
wanna
paper
know.
tear.
I
when you
want to
roll
know
through it.
how
It's just
Ree
great.
tracks her
No longer
because mine was a
white
mess.
paper.
You would
It's
hate it.
awful,
My
yeah.
notebooks are bad enough. Like I've
I
got
know, exactly.
exactly.
I've
It'll
seen
be
your
awful.
notes. It's all over the place.
Nobody's character
It's
sheet
like
will ever be as
nothing-
bad as Chris Drops.
No.
Right.
Yeah, and to be
Right,
fair,
right,
that's
right.
when he remembered to actually bring it.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Well, dearest companions, dearest friends, it's time to get back to some Dungeons and Dragons. Are you ready?
You know.
I am. I was born ready.
Full of
Excellent.
carbs and bready.
Born ready.
Born bready.
The sun rises on horizon. With it, a new day begins. For most people, it continues as normal. They still have businesses to run, families to feed, but across Horizon, across many other cities across Aerois, one conversation dominates. People talk about the message from a legendary, a mythical figure of Aerois' past. The threat of war, the decisions, the morality around those decisions, and ultimately, what is best for them and the best for Aerois. Nowhere is this conversation more important than within the great halls of the Citadel of the Reborn, a tall, white-stoned building tipped with brass and gold like flames rising up. 5 great archways extend over the rest of the Sky City out from the Citadel, down onto the city below. And from each of them, troops amass in their red and gold armor and surround the main central chamber where our party is once again brought. to speak with the various leaders of Aerois. Is there anything before you guys are brought down into the actual council discussion that you wish to do?
I like to put on full spell-proof and physical-proof armor that covers my entire
Do you own
body.
such a thing?
Next question.
Exactly. So we're just going to ignore everything Christoph just said. I'm going to assume no. In which case, you return to the large circular council chamber with a large circular table and find that several of its seats are now empty. It appears that the ambassadors from Vortensar are not in attendance. Neither is Vicereine Galilea of the Commonwealth of Gisela, nor is the Starcaller Navarine.
What?
Well, you are
damn it.
informed. Well, you are informed that Starcaller Navarine is not attending because she has become unwell. It seems that in her advanced age, with the revelations about the Titans and Callus's proclamation,
no.
she has basically fallen kind of very unwell. She does not seem to really be composed enough to be part of these discussions.
I killed
And you
her.
kind of
broken
did
old
shatter
lady,
her
guys.
faith.
Yeah,
you know those
we
gods
broke an
that
old
you all
lady.
worship?
Oh,
Not really
God.
gods, though, are they? Lul.
Oh, I'm a murderer.
You're not a murderer. She's unwell. She is unwell.
I
We're a
mean,
spiritual murderer. That's worse,
Just-
maybe.
we just told her the truth, so.
Her whole
Yeah.
life just crumbled.
But it
before
was,
our eyes.
to be
Really
fair,
did. Really
to
did.
be fair, it was
I mean-
the very start of a very important meeting, and he just went, "Your god's not real." So
None of your gods are real, lol.
I mean, they want to hear it. They need to hear it.
Nice. That was the sound of her hitting the floor when that meeting concluded.
That was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's the sound
That's her
that every
heartbreaking.
one of us did. That's the sound of everyone in the high roller fandom
You guys
hitting
did
the
your
ground when
Macaulay Culkins.
yeah.
Yeah. The chamber is kept at a moderate temperature, magically, you assume, and there are still guards and mages that patrol the perimeter of the actual chamber. But Danica calls to attention. She kind of slaps her hands together and a great kind of like burst of flame erupts around the domed ceiling. Well, it appears that several of our representatives have decided they no longer had anything they wished to say. As I did promise them, I would not keep them here as prisoners. They've returned to their home countries. So, that leaves those of us who remain as at least willing to discuss the matters that were revealed yesterday. I believe that it's best to address a couple of things. Draconis Militarum, I know that you are unhappy with my decision to allow these individuals to leave. Keep in mind that my city has always espoused freedom. I am not going to keep people here a prisoner simply because they made a decision that we disagree with. Not until a formal alliance is agreed and rules and orders are put in place to make sure that any such traitorous behavior is punished. Do you accept that this was my decision? You see the two dragons in their humanoid forms. General Nethiral, this kind of elderly, brassy-haired, mustached, older, general-looking type. Next to him is a tall woman with long blue hair and lightning blue eyes. They just nod their head in a kind of angry, less an agreement and more of a kind of like, it's your city, fair enough kind of response. Amadrasos, the more diplomatic, the copper dragon of the two. We understand Lady Danica's position as a neutral party in this summit. The Draconis Militarum does wish to state that tactically allowing these individuals to return to their worlds or to their cities is dangerous, given the information that they have collected. You have put us at a disadvantage, Lady Danica. We hope that you understand the gravity of this. Danica holds up a hand. I believe that these individuals take no more knowledge than what they already possessed. I do not believe we have given them any major advantages over us, but your concern is noted, Ambassador Amadrasos. I believe that there is one more important factor that should be raised. Yesterday, myself, the crew of the Stormchaser, and Sky Prince Aradan met to discuss the events that had taken place. I believe that the three of us, the three groups of us, have agreed to stand against Callus Valkyrian. Chiefly on information provided to me by Keelik Adkolar. Keelik, have you made a decision on whether you wish to reveal this information to the rest of the representatives?
I have, and I believe we might have a way for this information to be shared and you all to be convinced by it too. Not that we are just telling you honeyed lies to get you on side.
A zone of truth?
On me.
She nods, but you begin to hear kind of murmurings amongst everybody else. The Duke of Hilljaden, Duke Rogrick. How do we know that? I am familiar with the spell, Zone of Truth. It convinces an individual to speak what they believe to be true, but whatever information you have, are we sure that this is not a trick? We have seen that this Valkyrian is capable of immense magic, but we know that you yourself, Stormchaser, that Danica is capable of powerful magics as well. Do we have any guarantee that what you say is... Well, how do we know that it is exactly truth, that it represents whatever you're going to tell us?
I will give you exact details. I will not avoid any questions you have, and if you wish, have someone from your own continent cast the spell on me.
It is less that I believe that you would find a way to bypass the spell's nature. Correct me if I'm wrong. You are forced to tell the truth as you know it. What if the information you have is misguided? You would be telling us what you believe to be true. But how do we know that that is the truth? That is whatever you're going to tell us? It is not a zone which makes the truth happen. It is a zone that convinces a person to speak what they believe to be true.
I will give you...
You can cast it on all of us, and I'm pretty sure that every single one of us would tell you the same thing.
But that still takes the same point. Whether you all believe it, whether Quill believes it, it is still flawed by a person. It is still a person's idea of what the truth is. And I trust that whatever information you have, I do not know the nature of it, but if this is all come from the champion of Hesper, if he has told you, then yes, it would be the same that he would tell us. That does not make it true. I would still hear it, but be cautious that one single spell, a relatively low-powered spell, I might add, it does not guarantee that everything you say is fact. It convinces me that you believe it. Keelik Adkolar.
Well, we hope that our words through this spell are at least as factual and enough to sway you as Starbane's was, based on word.
I am willing to listen. I am willing to listen.
Okay.
Sure. So yeah, you have somebody come over. It would probably be Danica's own people, just because I think they all trust Danica at this point, to be a fair representative, given how she treated the Vicereine of Giselle and the two ambassadors from Vortensar. She seems to be sticking to her rules, so they allow one of Danica's mages to come over. They cast Zone of Truth on you. Do you resist it?
Hell yeah, no, I don't.
Okay. The mage turns. The ritual is complete. I do believe Master Keelik to be under the influence of this spell. It will compel him to speak the truth as he knows it. He just nods his head.
Would any of you like to ask any questions, or shall I just speak?
That's an interesting question.
Quill's mum speaks
I
up.
think...
So why didn't you message me?
No, she's being kept very busy. She's constantly kind of like sending people back and forward out of the chamber with messages and notes. She's kind of taking a back seat to the discussions. An Ember Elf, who you have met. This is Sumar Zemix Eladovian, the Grand Strategist is his title. You've met him before. He's one of the dignitaries here. He represents the continent of Zefena, or Zefen. He looks to you. Yes, before you tell us what you wish to tell us, Mr. Keelag, this information, this new information that you have, has it changed your mind on whether to agree with Callus or not? Has this been a deciding factor in your decision? Interesting.
No, I never wanted to join Starbane. His
Very well.
message was convincing, but not enough to convince me, not after what we've been through.
A second question, if I may. This information, how did you come about it? Before you tell us what it is.
In the lands of Mirska, shortly after we were teleported by Starbane, shortly after he killed Sentry, I met a very similar fate at the hands of Hadar, or a Hadar touch.
Is that just Quill misremembering? Because he didn't kill Sentry. Sentry died in the church.
Sorry.
Okay, so I'm just checking that like Quill's actively telling it as he knows it. So you would say something like, when Sentry fell and Starbane teleported us, rather than he killed Sentry, because he didn't. Okay.
Yeah, my bad.
That's right. It's just misremembering.
I was sent beyond the cradle and thankfully resurrected in Gusthaven by my allies, the Stormchasers. Upon returning, Hesper gifted me with a Storm Eye. This thing, actually. It allows me to ask very particular questions and get the truth in response. It has helped us many times, and we've discovered many interesting facts from this.
Very powerful tool. You say it tells you the truth of things. How do you know that what it shows you is true? Where does this power come from? Is this Hesper's power?
I'm pretty sure it's Hesper's, but there's a part of me that remembers it being Siaska's now.
There you go. That's what you know.
Ah, crap. I can't remember exactly when he gave it to me.
I mean, I'll correct you, but you're right in that it's Hesper's power is Siaska's power, so technically it's from Siaska, technically.
Yeah. Hesper gifted me the eye.
It's through Hesper, yeah.
It was through Hesper that I got this power. But regardless, we've used this eye to get to the very bottom of many different situations, and the answers it gave us turned out to be true, turned out to be fact. We discovered them to be so from our own investigations. Every time I've used it, it's given the truth, and yesterday I used it, and I have no reason to believe it's not the truth. From what we know of the world engine, from what we know of Hadar, from what we know of Starbane, there's no reason to not believe it this time. And what we know is that, and you may know this, Aerois is generated, powered by a Genesis relic, the world engine. Basically created Aerois, much like it did Alfheim. The moment the world engine is removed, the planet's removed, essentially, destroyed. And that's what I saw. Starbane takes this world engine in hopes of feeding it to Hadar. Too much power for him to consume, and that would destroy Hadar. That is not the case. Not the case at all. Aerois is destroyed. Hadar grows exponentially out of his confines and take over everything. Reality as we know it will be consumed by Hadar. It doesn't destroy him. It makes him stronger than ever.
Murmurings all around, the Dragonborn kind of clenching their fists, their claws. As definitely worried looks. Sumar looks at you with more of a kind of inquisitive mind. So this eye, you can ask it questions of the future. You can ask it things that have not yet occurred.
I can, not all the time. And annoyingly, not now. In a few days, yes, but not right now.
I believe you, Master Keelik. The spell is active. You believe what you are saying to be true. Now, there is... I hate to play the middleman. There are possibilities at work here. One, the visions that you are shown are guesses by Hesper, perhaps. They are perhaps influenced by Hesper or Siaska. Well, he would say Hesper, because as far as they're all aware, Siaska is dead. Is influenced by Hesper, an enemy of Callus. It seems likely that he may wish to dissuade you from anything that may support his argument, but another factor, perhaps, to consider. A man who can see the future. He sees his own death. He spends the rest of his life doing everything he can to avoid that death. Now, there are many possibilities. One, his fate is assured. There is no way for him to avoid the death he has foreseen, no matter how hard he tries, and so he still dies at the end of it. We are bound by destiny, by fate, whatever you wish to call it. The other, by knowing of his death, he has changed the future, and now that death no longer exists. The future that he has seen is no longer possible. We stand at a crossroads. Either what you have seen will come to pass no matter what this council decides, or by telling us of what you have seen, you have already changed it, so this future will not happen.
Hopefully. I imagine life as we know it to be one single string up until the point that we're at now. Anything beyond now, there's thousands and thousands of different threads splaying out across the universe, different endings. I simply asked what would happen if Starbane wins. If Starbane gets the world engine, what will happen?
But that is my question. You have asked this scenario. What happens if Callus acquires the world engine and uses it against this being Hadar? But now we know that this will not work. Now the future is undetermined. What if, by allying with Callus, we are now able to convince him not to use the world engine in this way? What if that is the path forward that we must take? What if that knowledge is the thing that unlocks a new future for us to follow? And I say this not because I have made my decision, not because I seek to counteract what gifts you have been given. I am a man of logic and a man of strategy. I am trying to understand all of the possibilities before us. Is it possible, Kilek Adkola, that by telling us this, that future you have seen can be changed?
I don't say this under the influence of the Zone of Truth, but you and everyone in this room are nothing to Starbane. He will not listen to you. He doesn't need to. He has a goal. It's to destroy Hadar. Whether he is convinced by Hadar himself, maybe he's Hadar touched himself, we don't know. Either way, you can't convince him because he won't listen to you.
But that is only your opinion. Not a gift that you have been seen, not a future that you have been shown.
That is my opinion. Without the help of Hesper, and the journey we've taken.
Thank you. Thank you, Keelik. Please understand, I do not ask this to be rude or to try and diminish your great accomplishments. I have utmost respect for you and the Stormchasers, but I must have all the facts before I am able to decide what I wish to do next.
I appreciate the approach and welcome the questions.
General Nathiral of the Dragonborn slams a big claw on the table. Well, I have heard enough. It is clear that Callus is either mad or corrupted by the very thing he fights against. We know where the Draconis Militarum stands. Danica, I want to know where everybody at this table stands now. The Draconis Militarum stands with Horizon, with Gusthaven, and with the crew of the Stormchaser against Callus Valkyrian. We will never bow to that tyrant. We will never yield another world to him. Danica kind of looks at you guys to see, like, okay. I
Hell
will
yeah.
call for the rest. Okay. She's like, well, I believe that our general has made the request quite clear. Those of you who are still gathered here, we should understand where we all stand. With this information presented by Champion Keelek, Callus's plan will not work. Or so the champion believes, based on his gift of foresight. But we still have a decision to make, a war still to fight. Where do you stand? She looks. Sky Prince Aradan stands up, sat next to Lucius. He stands up. I have known the crew of the Stormchaser. They have saved my city and me. And if they stand against Callus, I believe it is the duty of all of us, children of Siaska, to do the same. She stood against him once. We must stand against him again. Gusthaven stands with Horizon, the Draconis Militarum, and the Stormchaser. King Telvin Rooksilver, who is the monarch of Savona. I don't wish to be... I am undecided. My advisors, and he can see he glances to his left and to his right where two dwarves sit. One, Dalinor Brassworn, who represents Goldthrone and the surrounding area of Rooksfield, and then Bloodlord Uriena Vashten, who represents the Bloodvale, the lands of Bloodvale. He looks to either side. My advisors, who represent the majority of my people, are conflicted. For now, Savona must remain undecided until this matter can be settled domestically. He just nods his head. And you can see that already, as soon as he sits down, the two dwarves are like trying to like speak to him, and he's just like quieting them. Duke Rogrick of the Duchy of Hiljaden. I'm afraid that as of now, faced with a war, faced with these impossible odds, and given the questions that the Grand Strategist has asked, I am not sure I can align myself with what I believe to be a lost war. I have to think of my people. Perhaps this Callus, perhaps the future that has been seen is uncertain. Perhaps it is a trick. But even if it is not, we will all be killed by Callus anyway. I must stand with him. You see the Dragonborn kind of glare at this guy.
Sentry like stiffen up in the chair and like just
it's like bristles, like it's angry.
Yeah.
To kind of ease Sentry a little bit, this kind of ragtag-looking druid, you met him before only briefly, Shepherd Parrick. He represents the Council of Shepherds of Mirskir, the druids that lead the lands of Mirskir.
Join us.
He stands up. I do not know much. The land itself is confused. Many problems plague Aerois. But I know one thing. The crew of the Stormchaser came to Mirskir's aid when no one else did. They ended the storm that no one could end. They freed a powerful being within our lands. Whether it is our doom, whether it is in futility, we must stand for the earth, for the land of Aerois itself. If Callus takes this world engine and destroys our home, the beliefs of the druids, the beliefs of the shepherds, the people of Mirskir will not be the same. We stand with the Stormchaser. Nods his head. Sits back down.
Hell yeah. My boy.
Morgaine Frostblessed, champion of the Telethdu, the Aelsaraf Wild Elves, stands up in Elvish because she doesn't speak Common. Well, the Wild Elves don't back down from a fight. Whoever this Callus thinks he is, we'll fight him. She just sits back down. That's right. The three orcish admirals, the Tide Kings of the archipelagos, they're called. Admiral Suntusk, Admiral Stormeye, and Admiral Goodwind. They stand, look amongst each other. For now, the Tide Kings of the archipelagos are unaligned. We have to go back, speak with our people. This offer by Valkyrian is quite good. You can see the other one of the other ones, Admiral Suntusk, kind of glances and kind of looks at him warily. But we can't make this decision before we speak. Not to our fleets. For now, we are unaligned. They sit back down. The wolf pack, sorry, not the wolf pack, the Council of Beast Folk. Warren Keeper Nana Greytail, Packmaster Hagen Greycloud, and Grove Maiden Maya Dewstorm all stand together. Maya Dewstorm, you've never spoken to her yet. She's this kind of woman with these elk-like features, kind of like deer pattern skin, big horns, kind of stretched forward. She stands up, but she doesn't speak. She uses kind of a series of hand gestures, and different colored flowers grow on her hands when she does them. And the rabbit folk speaker, Nana Greytail, translates for her. The beast folk of Aerois have too many concerns of their own. We would like to speak with the crew of the Stormchaser in private to discuss a matter of importance to the beast folk. When this is done, perhaps then we can make our decision. Dewstorm just bows her head and sits back down. And then last, but by no means least, Sumar Zemix of the continent of Zifen. Another one of the, kind of similar to the continent of Giselle. It's one of the larger continents on Aerois. Represents quite a substantial amount of cities and forces. And so it falls to me to be the last. I am very grateful to you, Stormchaser, to you, Champion. The information you have provided, both in data and here in this council, is invaluable. I did not sleep. Instead, I spent my evening calculating, plotting. I can come to only one conclusion. As things stand, the odds against Aerois are too great. I am a strategist. I am a game player. I look at this board, and we are without knights, without bishops, without queens. It is a losing battle. We have no strategy. Even now, Aerois itself is splintered, factioned. And even if Champion Keelek's vision is true, we face either annihilation in war or annihilation by Hadar. But at least I feel, with Hadar, we may be bought time. We may be able to convince Callus to change his plans, to use this world engine in a new way. We may have options that I do not see us having now. For now, I must ally myself with Starbane. He sits back down. You get a message. All of you in your heads, you hear a message from the Grand Strategist. It's very faint, but you do just hear a very subtle kind of thing in your mind. A player who does not wish to lose everything knows when to fold, when to double down, and when to change table when their odds are improved. And then he just nods at all of you. Danica stands. Stormchasers, do you have anything to add? The representatives have spoken much. But if there is anything you wish to say, I believe now is the best time.
Oh, man. Anyone else?
As everyone is silent, the Sky Prince kind of jots back. He, like, holds his head. He kind of stumbles for a moment in his chair. he seems to be getting some sort of message. Shortly thereafter, Lucius, all of you, in fact, all receive the same message from Moonstar. Gusthaven is being attacked. They've come out of nowhere and are attacking our Ethereum refineries. We require immediate aid now.
Oh, okay.
Fuck.
If that's everything, Danica, it would be prudent for us to call the meeting here.
Sky Prince looks up. We need to just tell them, Lucius. There is an attack. We must leave now, Danica. Danica sort of sees the seriousness in all of your faces, nods. You see all of the other members kind of like looking around. She gestures. Those of you who did not ally with Horizon and the Stormchasers, I suggest you return now to your people, to your cities. Go where you wish. And then she gestures and guards basically start escorting anybody who didn't agree with you guys is being kind of like heavy armed, you know, pulled out of the chambers, leaving yourself with those who did ally with you, primarily the Dragonborn, the Shepherds, the Wild Elves from El Seraph, pretty much all kind of stick around. Everybody else is dragged away. Danica looks over. Yes.
As they're being dragged away, can I like say like
Not
this?
dragged
This
away.
is
They're
your
kind
chance.
of being like, you
Like-
should leave.
Yeah. Like, this is your chance to see what Starbane is doing. This is your chance. If you are not aligned now, come with us and see for yourselves what is going to happen in a year's time if we do not fight for our home. This is your chance. Join us now.
Make a persuasion check for me, please, Sentry.
What's your persuasion skill like, out of interest?
Plus
Not
8.
bad, I don't think. 24.
Plus 8.
+8.
Yeah, she's a paladin. High charisma, don't forget, and skill training. Sentry's a leader. Of course she's going to have good persuasion.
Nice.
I don't think any of them are going to come with you, but you see doubt. You see King Telvin of Rooksilver. You see the Grand Strategist as well. You see Duke Rogrick. You see them all waver. The beast folk hold up their hands as they're kind of being told to leave. Hagen, the wolf, the wolf folk gentleman, we will remain. We wish to speak with the crew of the Stormchaser once this attack is resolved. It may be that chances are we may decide to align, but we ask that we be given permission to remain in Horizon until this attack is resolved. The others kind of look around. King Telvin looks, I'm sorry, Sentry. I'm sure that there will be something to see, but I have to think of my people. And he's being kind of escorted away by his two advisors. But you definitely see that your words reached him. Just in this moment, it's too much for him to agree right now. But something's changed.
We'll be in touch when we have more intel and a solid plan.
The Grand Strategist, when you say that, Ayla, when you say a solid plan, he just kind of looks around. A solid plan would be a very good start. And then he just holds his hands up and lets himself be escorted out of the room. Danica, once they're kind of mostly gone, Danica turns around. Aradan, Stormchasers, what is happening? Is this on Gusthaven? Is Gusthaven being attacked?
Yes, an urgent message came through to us.
All right.
Someone is taking the Ethereum mines.
Very well. I can teleport the 6 of you and 2 others. I can send you now without having to rely on the teleportation circles, but the rest of my forces, we can begin moving the ship. We can begin moving the city and sending out airships, but I believe that I can send the 6 of you, and you will be the best chance the city has, the best reinforcements we can send. I can send 2 others.
I look
You
around.
have, yeah, well, around you have Morgan's Frostblessed of the Wild Elf, who seems to be a warrior. You have the dragons, both generals and Amadrasos are here.
Can we
You have
take the
Druids,
dragons,
you have the
please,
shepherds.
guys?
If you like, they're looking at you like, what are you gonna do? Like, who are you gonna ask for help here? Who do you want to ask?
Dragons.
I mean, they are dragons.
They're dragons.
The old
That's
alliance.
really useful right now.
You say
Ask
that,
'em.
they're dragon-born. We
I
don't
mean,
know
but-
how good they actually
No,
are.
these are
No,
Tom.
they're
These
dragons.
are dragons.
They're
These are
dragons.
dragons
What's
in
up with
humanoid
dragons?
form.
Dragons.
Yeah. Well, so do you ask him? You tell me. How do you ask him?
Ugh.
They're waiting to be asked.
Someone. Yeah.
We need strong allies. Come with us. Let's fight for Aerois. It starts here. Today.
You see the taller female dragon in humanoid form, the one with the long blue hair. She puts a hand on the shoulder of the elder general, General Nathirol. You should return to the Vivex. Explain to them what is happening. Make sure that we have our strategy. I will go with the Stormchasers. You see him kind of like, oh, we could both go. No offense, my old friend. You are not much of a brawler. You're a strategist. I, on the other hand, and she stands up to her full 7'8" height, and she just cracks her muscles in her neck, and you see these big bulging muscles. Her long blue hair begins crackling with lightning. I, on the other hand, it's been many a century since I've had the chance to fight. I would relish the opportunity to come with you.
Thank you.
You'll do.
There is room for one more, if you wish. Shepherd Parak is like, I can come. I have great healing abilities. I can command the elements, but if you wish another warrior, Miss Frostblessed of the Wild Elves, I think perhaps would be more suitable. And she's just she's nodding, yeah, I'll come fight.
Fighting. I like fighting.
Or if you have your own allies in the city, I can have them brought to you if necessary. I sadly cannot come with you. I have to ensure Horizon is safe. If they attack here whilst you are gone, I wish to make sure that the city is protected.
He was pretty good. Because I ain't doing it.
Stormblessed.
Yes. Absolutely.
Elf's also pretty good.
All right. The shepherd is just perhaps my healing abilities will be more useful. And he kind of steps forward. So, and the dragon who's coming with you, her name is General Phaelissa Tharis, or Phaelissa is how she goes by, Phaelissa. She steps up beside you, along with Shepherd Parak. Danica basically stands up, and you watch as the whole table and all the chairs just sink into the floor, they meld into the stone, leaving the space big and open. She steps into the middle, and you can already begin to see flames and golden energy kind of coalescing around her. Go on, Nova. You have your hand
this
up.
whole time while everyone's deciding, Nova's been writing a very hurried message. She yeets it at Rain, who's probably in the corner somewhere.
Yeah,
And
Rain's here.
says, please give that to my family. Tell them I'll be back. Ask them to stay. Ask the professor to stay. I'll be back.
Of course. We'll keep them protected until you return. Hopefully, once this attack is resolved, return here to Horizon, or Horizon will come to you. And he just nods his head. And there's a genuineness when he takes that letter. He understands how important this is. And yeah, as you're doing that, Danica kind of steps into the middle, and you can now see she's just covered in this orange flame. Quickly, get around me. Stand around in a circle around me, and whatever you do, don't flinch. And you can see that she's containing this power that's burning through her body, golden kind of crimson veins through her arms. As she gestures for you guys to come stand around her, basically.
Yeah, do that as quick as
Nice.
we can.
Absolutely.
Cool. As you get in position, she just looks up one more time. Don't die. We need you here. Finish this and come back. And then she slams the floor with her foot. She kind of stomps down, and this kind of just gout of flame erupts, and it kind of drifts up around you, forming a globe, and then flames being snuffed out. You are pulled away. You feel that familiar sensation of your bodies being lurched through time and space. And you appear in a great explosion. The fire gone from this bright red and orange to a kind of golden crimson as it just trails off around you as you stand before the great citadel on the teleportation circle of Gusthaven. You can already begin to hear the sounds. You can hear screams. You can hear cries. You can hear the clashing of metal and steel. Aridan and the others all kind of like come to you with you. You see a shape fly over the city overhead, what appears to be almost a giant dragon, but this is made of metal and steel and crystal, all fused together to create this great dragon-like shape. It fires a beam of intense light and heat out of its mouth, cutting through several buildings before flying off. You can hear there are more of them elsewhere in the city. When you arrive, several mages who seem to be protecting the teleportation circle, they're ushering in. When you arrive, there's like a startled group of citizens who it looks like they were using this as a way to escape the city, kind of startled as these mages are like, hold, Sky Prince, you've returned. We sent word for you. He's just like, yes, what is happening? He turns, he's just like, they attacked out of nowhere, Your Majesty. They just seem to fold out of space itself. These great draconic beings, but there are others with them, soldiers. They possess unusual qualities. Their bodies are like mixes of things that we've never seen before, like some sort of organic experiment. Where are they attacking? They've attacked in primarily 3 locations in the city. The city center, the docks, and the Ethereum refinery, sir. We don't have the forces to hold them all off. What do you wish us to do? At this point, Aridan turns to the rest of you. Stormchasers, I can lead my guards and my mages to one of these sites, but I don't think we have the manpower to take on all 3 if there are more of those things flying around. Can I leave this? What should I do? What should we do?
We could get to Thalia. We could get her spaceship out. That could be, the Twin Star could be useful as air support, along with Faeldris.
Faelissa.
Faelissa,
What have
sorry.
you decided? I think and she kind of like begins stretching her muscles and like, almost like getting ready for a fight. I will take to the skies. These imitations are nothing. I will try and deal with as many of them as possible. Good luck. And she just kind of steps back. She finds like an open space in the plaza, and then just her clothing rips as one arm becomes a giant blue claw, the next, and then like her whole body shifts as she becomes a colossal blue dragon. Good luck, Stormchasers. I hope that this is the beginning of a great alliance. She takes off into the air, chasing after one of these metallic dragons. It's just this blast of lightning out of her mouth. And she, turns, chasing one of them off away.
So lucky she's on our side. Yeah. So lucky.
Sorry about the pseudo dragon.
Yep.
The shepherd who is with you.
Apologize for that.
It seems that there are many wounded. I can go to where the citizens are most and try and protect as many of them as I can. I may be able to buy you some time. I am not incredibly powerful, but perhaps I can shield them using the earth or the stones themselves. I could perhaps buy you some time. Wherever you wish to go, perhaps it would be best served if I go elsewhere.
Good idea.
Lucius, where's
Really appreciate the
Moonstar?
help.
Let's find Moonstar.
I thought
Give
she
her
was with
backup.
us in Horizon. Alas.
No, she had actually, it seems that she had left to come back to Gusthaven.
Can you message her, Quill?
I can try. Sure. Message. Well,
Sending?
I guess I can try a message if she's within 120
Message
feet.
doesn't work.
Anything.
Message doesn't work.
In that case, I'll do a sending. And ask Moonstar where she is and where she needs us to be.
Okay, I'm not going to make you do the 25 words thing. City center, many citizens injured. Attacks in great forces. Doing my best, hold them off. Your ship is being attacked at docks.
Son of a...
Can hold off.
Okay.
Best as is the response you kind of get back. So Moonstar is in the city center, and it sounds like that's where the reports from the other mages tell you that the most of the citizens of Gusthaven are trapped in the city center. The shopping area, the Eighth Agora, the plazas, that kind of places. The docks, where the Twin Star is being held, as well as the Stormchaser, that's the other place that's being attacked. You have to pick between And then there's the Ethereum refineries. It sounds like these forces are actually attacking the refineries, destroying them, but also stealing Ethereum from them as well. What do you want to do?
They're all important.
Yeah.
They are all
They
important.
are. It's almost like
They are.
I've made you choose. Unless you want to split the pie. You could go to all
Unless we
three.
split the party.
Yeah. I'm going to cast Enlarge while we're here, just making a decision, just so I can stand as a shield over everybody. Just get ready to
So
go.
there's actually, yeah, while you're in this area, you can see that mages have like constructed these like barrier domes over the teleportation circle, and there's a lot of like innocent people who are like huddled here. Looks like they were, waiting to be teleported out. But yeah, they're doing their best to kind of keep this as a protected area of the city. And it's not like the city's completely destroyed. You can see that there are definitely like buildings that have been damaged and attacked, and you can hear the sounds of battle. But Gusthaven has its own military. It has its knights, which are out there fighting. It's just they're probably going to lose unless they get some support in some of these locations.
If we can get to the docks, get Thalia and the Stormchaser into the sky to help, that would be something. My worry is with the refineries, not only for the future.
Leave the refineries to me, Lucius. I'll take my personal guard. We'll head to the refineries, see if we can't buy you some time, at least.
If they explode, that would be extremely
That's my
damaging.
worry. I think that
people in the
whatever is
city
happening
centre-
here...
The dock has air support. There's dragon in the sky. Do we want to go
Go to the
inside
docks.
where that is not?
We should
The
go
refineries
we-
are still
let's
exposed
go-
to the elements. The whole city is, Ayla. No matter where we go, those things are still going to be a problem. If you think that you have allies at the docks, ones who could help us, it may be that Azaria Perel is there. She's a very powerful mage as well, along with your companion Thalia and your ship. Whatever help we can get, we need.
Then we go now to the docks. That's what I say.
All right. I'll take my guard to the Ethereum refineries, and we can... Shepard, if you can go to the city center, just try and hold them off. Save as many people as you can. Don't worry about the buildings. Use them in any way you need to. We can always rebuild.
Good luck, Sky
You
Prince.
keep yourself
Just
safe.
hear another
If it's
roar.
not safe there, get out, and we will come later. We'll switch to there as soon as we're done.
I'll buy you the time you need. And just with that, he kind of like goes off. You can see that these white griffins are being pulled in, and you can see like all of these elite-looking armored knights, mages are all kind of like gathering up, waiting for the Sky Prince. They hand him his greatsword. His owl comes flying down. He gets on the back of a griffin. They all begin mounting up, and they're going to take off, leaving you guys to rush to the docks. And I'm going to assume that you guys just make a run for it, right? You guys are just going to rush to get there ASAP.
These guys
far
using
are
their
the
legs.
docks?
I mean, far enough that you won't be able to use a spell to get everyone there quickly. I don't want you to waste a spell slot. You know the streets well enough that you can pretty much fight your way through there. And for the sake of cinematic coolness, we'll say that you probably take care of like minor enemies and things like that along the way. You come across like some squads of these enemies. The enemies that you come across, apart from these giant metal dragons, they're humanoid, but many of them possess unusual kind of abilities. Some of them seem to have these great manta ray-like wings that they glide through the city, and they can spit acid, and they've got weapons. Some of them have these like long whips made of lightning that they seem to be able to charge, and then they have blades. All of them wear Valkyrian colors, but rather than Valkyrian symbol, it is the symbol of Zarkira that they all
Yep.
wear.
God damn.
What a bit.
Ain't
Then you guys arrive at the docks, and I do have a little mappy wappy.
Oh, we have a
Oh.
map.
Ooh.
A long time
that's
since we
a-
had a little mappy wappy.
That's
I
a
don't
lot
like
of
the look of one of
dudes.
those dudes. Mark. Don't like the look of
You
that.
don't like the look of one of those dudes.
I don't like the look of
No.
anything here.
No.
It'll make Sentry big.
Oh yeah, huge sentry.
Oh
Big
no!
time.
I've just loaded it.
No.
What is that?
So,
Why is it so
So-
big?
you guys
two of
fight
them.
your way to the
What is that?
docks. Various streets of Gusthaven partially collapsing. It seems that these giant draconics, as you're rushing through the city, there must be about 4 or 5 of these giant dragon things, 2 of them in the docks. The other 3 are kind of like flying around. The dragon Phalissa is chasing one of them that has basically had to completely avoid the city and is being pursued by this much bigger dragon that's just like bearing down on it. You see fighting. The knights of Gusthaven are all kind of pulling. As soon as you come in and help them, they manage to like pull the citizens to safety or secure an area, and they kind of direct you down the clear paths that have been secured by their forces. When you arrive, the docks, there is fighting everywhere, but you beeline towards the Stormchaser, your crew. And when you come to the area where the ship was being repaired, Lillian Sprocket's shipwriting company, and the warehouse where the Twin Star is being held, you see that a great siege is taking place here. 2 of these enormous, draconic, construct-like dragons perched on either end of the dock are firing these like mouth beams, carving chunks out of the newly reinforced hull. More of these kind of electrified warriors are kind of trying to board it. They're trying to board on top of it with these electrified whips. There are these manta ray-like flyers doing like drive-bys, while these 2 large figures that seem to be covered in an almost like crab-like carapace are also attacking. The warehouse where the Twin Star is being located, one of these giant crab-like monsters is pounding on a magical barrier that's been created, whilst 2 of these electrified soldiers are currently being pinned down by Azaria Perel, this high elf woman dressed all in black, looking like a widower with this black veil, who is flying above the warehouse, just firing like magical bolts and fire bolts down at the enemies before her, kind of, you know, blasting down whilst being preoccupied. The crew of the Stormchaser is also fully engaged in the battle. You can see the wolf pack all armed with their new callous weaponry that you stole for them, desperately just trying to fend off these giant dragons, trying to blast them with as much fire as possible. Penny is on the ballista, constantly rotating it around, trying to take shots at whatever she can, whilst Aerois and Kamara are desperately trying to lead the crew from the ship's deck. And that, my friends, is what you see when you arrive here.
Damn.
As a point, because I know people in chat are going to mention it, and I know some of you are probably thinking of it, the original event, the Avengers movie, when they're in New York with the Chitauri attacking, is very much the vibe we're going for here. So, like, as you're running through the streets, there's, like, overturned wagons and, like, broken storefronts, and, you know, there are desperate, you know, ordinary people fighting and stuff.
We're only at the first Avengers movie? Oh,
Yeah.
we've got a long way to go, guys.
Avengers Assemble. We still got a long way to go.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
right there. Yeah.
And I believe that I'm going to say those words, which, God, I've missed saying them. I haven't said them in so long.
We'll give you some time
Let's
to say
roll
it.
initiative!
Rock and roll.
Oh, not bad. Not bad.
Not bad.
19,
Pretty
18,
good.
19, 20,
We're speedy
21.
boys.
21 for Nova. Sentry.
Nice. 14.
14 for Sentry. Ayla.
22.
22. Keelek and Kalar.
16.
16. Lucius, Virian, Elwin, Elanasto.
18.
18. You guys are quick on the ball compared to the enemies, I'll tell you that. Ayla. Combat instincts kick in. You see all of these enemies
Christ.
before you. Now, unfortunately, the Stormchaser is kind of on the other side of one of these docks where it was being repaired. You've come in from the wrong angle. There is a bit of a gap. To one side, you can see that there's these 2 flying humanoids with these manta ray-like wings that are spitting acid down onto the wolf pack, but then perched at the top of all these crates and boxes at the far end of the dock is one of these giant dragon figures. On the other side, you can see the ship with the dragon and one of these large armored Hulk-like figures and the warehouse with the Twin Star in it. What would you like to do?
Okay. Let me just count my squares.
As a point, the flyers are both about 40 feet up in the air. The dragon is currently perched on like these cranes and boxes. It's probably about 20 feet up in the air. But yeah, they all have wings, the construct dragons as well. They do look like they can fly.
So, if I... First I'll rage as a bonus action.
The lightning crackles up and down your arms and legs, exploding around you.
Can I... I'm just reading my hammer.
That's all right. It's been a while. So after Ayla, by the way, Nova, you'll be next, then Lucius. So have a think about what you guys want to do.
I could get onto... How far can I get? 45. Can I run forward and then use my hammer to jump 60 feet?
Is it, yeah,
Onto-
is it just like a free action? Is it like a bonus action to activate?
It doesn't
or...
say. It doesn't say what it.
Okay,
It just
so it's
says
just part of
that
your
I can
movement. Spend a charge.
use it. And
Sure. Then in
spend
that
a
case, yeah,
charge.
you move as you need to.
So, 20, 30, 25, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. So I could probably get to here on my turn, up on the deck.
So you just watch
of the
Ayla
Stormchaser.
runs along the dock and then leaping, charged with lightning with a hammer out, woof, sails like 60 feet through the air, comes slamming down onto the deck of the Stormchaser. A few of the wolf pack kind of look around like fearing it's an enemy, see that it's Ayla. You look over and just see Kamara in her new kind of Valkyrian black leather combat suit, looks over. What took you so long?
Sorry, I mean teleportation. Supposed to be good, right? And then I will probably throw my hammer this turn at the dragon that I see,
Sure.
like, in front.
Sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
the dragon,
gonna-
which is currently near, quite close to the Stormchaser. Yep.
So I'm gonna throw the hammer. I'm gonna hurl it.
Okay. So this is because it's only one
Um,
target. Just make the attack roll for the last
Yeah.
hit.
13 plus 13, 26 to hit.
That will hit. Yep, that hits. So the
Excellent.
hammer kind of flies through the air, charged with lightning, impacts into one of these like metal scales on the dragon. You hear this resounding kind of echoing thud.
14 damage on the hammer itself. Hang on, wait a minute. It's been a long time. Yeah, 14 damage on the hammer, and then
Okay.
lightning damage. So, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 lightning damage as well.
You see it kind of shudder backwards.
Oh,
as
sorry,
the
it has
hammer
to make a
impacts
dex
into its
saving throw.
First. Dice, those would have been really good. That's all right. I can just do it on this. That's a fail, so it takes the full damage. It kind of stumbles back as it gets impacted, and it just turns to look at you now, Ayla. As it reaches its giant mouth open.
What was that
Echoing
sound?
metal.
Wow!
It was a mecha dragon sound. Come on, it was a mecha dragon, guys.
Oh, yeah,
Y'all
okay.
never heard a mecha dragon before?
Do you know you were in a metal band, Mark?
Sounds. Yeah.
So, yeah,
it sounds
It's
suspiciously
kind of like
close to that
the metal
Egyptian
chamber
thing.
reverberates it. It reverberates
Hell
it,
yeah.
right? So it's kind of like this like echoing, screechy metal scream.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what Ayla does.
Me
She
in the morning.
Yep.
Jesus.
So
that's
the end of your turn.
she
And then the hammer.
she'll jump 60 feet, throw the hammer, which turns into a bolt of lightning, and then comes back to her hand again. That's my turn.
Snaps back in. Nova Vija, you are up next.
I'm gonna go for Thalia. If we can get the twin star in the sky, then maybe we can use air support against these dragons.
Yes.
Are you okay, Quill? You appear to be very distressed right now.
I'm very distressed. Oh my god.
Snap out of it!
Ow. Ow.
Pitched up Reaper noise.
That'll do
Imagine that.
Oh
Yeah.
god.
Right. Nova.
Awesome.
I'm gonna dimension door. I'm gonna dimension door into. Well, I can dimension door somewhere I can see. So I can dimension door up to 500
Yes.
feet into the twin
You'll
star.
need to move a little bit because the ship is going to block your line of sight currently. Imagine because the ship is like a tall
I
thing
don't
as
need-
well. It's kind of hovering.
I don't need that with dimension door, do I? I can.
You just said
see.
you need line of sight, didn't you?
No. You
It's
can
just a
teleport
place you can
yourself
imagine.
from your current location to any you arrive exactly at the spot desired. You can be a place you can see,
Oh,
one
okay.
you can visualize, or one you can describe by stating a direction. So I want to be
Perfect.
on the
So,
twin
yeah.
star longbow up to 500 feet, though. If it's more
Yep.
than 500 feet, like.
I'm not going to put you on the twin star, but you're basically you're beside it inside the hangar where it's being stored. When you appear in this isn't when you appear inside, you narrowly are yanked down. You feel a kind of green hand kind of pull you down as various blasts of lightning and acid sail overhead. As Thalia like yanks you down. Where there's they've formed like a barricade of wooden boxes. You can see like a upturned desk with like schematics all over on the floor. Beside her is Kyrie, who is currently holding what appears to be like a magic wand, and Big Cat, who's kind of hunched next to Kyrie. And then Thalia's got her two spell pistols kind of like pressed up against it, very action movie style. And she's just like, "Hi." She kind of like looks over to you. It's just like, "Wasn't quite expecting you to be back so soon. Bit of a problem." And you can see that they are being attacked by several more of these creatures inside.
Oh my god,
these
Tom, leave
electric
the room.
and flying creatures.
Get out the room. Get out of the room.
No, it's, look, it's okay. I muted myself.
That's fine. He can just mute himself. Go on, Kim.
I can't take the visual. Can you
so
turn your
we're-
camera off?
Okay.
We're outside of the ship?
Yes.
Are-
So
are we
the twin
outside?
star,
Okay.
the twin star doesn't appear like has power. It's not doing anything. It's inert. Yes, a bit of a problem. And then Thalia kind of whips up and then ducks back down. What do you want to do? So action, move.
What if I teleport us straight onto the ship? Can we power it up and blast these guys?
No. Darling, first thing I tried, something's wrong with the Twin Star's engines. It needs like a jump start or something. I can't get any power to go through to the engines.
You just call me darling.
Worried that
we'll have to
woman's
sort
done
this out. Okay.
something to it.
Oh, fab. Okay. I think for now that's all I can do. I'm out.
So you got
of,
bonus action left.
bonus actions
Yeah.
and all that.
Yeah,
I
and
don't-
move
I
action,
can't do
but I guess you
anything
don't
with
want to move. Okay.
that. I don't
Lucius.
want to move. They might shoot me.
Yep.
Lucius is going to cast Fly on himself.
At third level.
Oh, yeah, he's just going to
Cool.
do it on himself.
Sure.
He's
So
going
you watch as Lucius just kind of hovers up.
His robes fluttering in the wind. He's going to get out his captain's command and point it forward as he flies forward. What's my fly speed? Is it 60?
60, I believe, with the spell. Yes.
So that was 5, 10, 15, 25, 30, 35, 45, 55. So I'm about here.
Okay.
I'm going to use the bonus action of this to speak very loudly to everybody.
Yep.
Stormchaser crew! We are here!
That's the captain!
Band together! I've just paid for this upgrade! Don't waste it!
There's kind of a confused look, all the Stormchasers. It's like, it's Captain Lucius! It's Captain Lucius! Captain Lucius is here! He's come to help us! And then you kind of say that out, and like everyone kind of like looks up at like that last thing, and you see Aerois just like, "You heard the captain!" Ah! And she kind of like lets out a cheer, and they're all like, "Yeah!" And there's a big cheer that goes round. Kamara just kind of gives you like a single salute, looking up towards you.
Yeah, and that's my go, because it's
That's
an action and
your
bonus action.
move action and bonus action done. Keelek and Kalar, followed by Sentry. You guys are literally all going first before anybody else.
I really wish
Such a
they
cool
didn't
visual.
run off, because I was gonna a beacon of hope.
Oh, too bad.
Well,
Slow.
Too bad. So sad.
in that case, I am going to fly as well. Not looking quite as cool as Lucius,
I mean,
it's
you're
60
a
feet
bird.
wide.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I know, but
With
you
a
did
metal
with the
wing.
cloak and everything, and you've shouted at the crew, and I'm just like, no, I can help. Okay, I'll do it too. And yeah, I will beacon of hope from where I am, so everything within 30 feet of me currently. So Lucius and some of these Stormchaser crew, I guess.
So you basically get Kamara and 4 of the Stormchaser crew.
And Lucius.
And Lucius. Yeah. Okay.
And that's
Anything
pretty
else?
much me.
All right. Sentry on the other side of the docks. All your friends have either flown or jumped away or teleported away. What does Sentry do? Big Sentry.
Big old Sentry. Sentry's gonna run 5, 10, 15, 20, jump off the edge of the docks, and then cast Misty Step to get to the boat.
Okay,
This is
yeah,
really
okay,
off.
that's easy.
Oh, thank
Yeah,
God!
you
I
go,
thought
like-
she was going to attempt.
I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna risk it.
I'm gonna
Whoosh.
swim.
Yeah. So yeah, with the teleport, you just watch as the Misty Step, as Sentry jumps off, and there is a moment where she starts to fall long before she's gonna hit the boat, and like you think like, oh no, she's gonna go straight down because that's not ocean, that's sky, because you're in the Sky City, and you just whoosh and teleport and appear kind of cool pose on the Stormchaser next to Kamara, who has to kind of like jump out of your way a little bit as you reform. So that's move and bonus
sorry.
action.
And
No, I'd
then
much
I would
rather
like-
you were here, Sentry.
And then can I cast Ice Storm towards the dragon over there on
Ice
the
Storm?
opposite side?
What is that?
This one? Okay, so read out Ice
boy.
Storm for me.
Ice
How
Storm.
long have you
So
had that?
a little while. So it's a 300 foot by 20 foot range. A hail of rock and ice pounds the ground in 20 foot radius, 40 foot high, tall cylinder set on a point within range. Each creature must make a dex save throw. A creature takes 2d8 bludgeoning damage and 4d6 cold damage on a failed save, or half as much damage on a successful one. And then hailstones
Okay.
stones turn the area into difficult terrain until the end of your
Difficult
next turn.
Good to know. So what kind of saving throw was it, sorry?
Dexterity save.
Nope, that's fine.
Well, it's a failure. Roll the bludgeoning damage for me. The ice that
Okay.
forms around it, the cold damage, seems to have no effect. As the cold rains down, the frost just kind of patterns across its metal hide and doesn't seem to hinder it in any way. It just seems to almost absorb the cold energy. But the bludgeoning damage of these giant chunks of ice and rock kind of slamming down does have some effect.
Nice.
So just roll the bludgeoning damage for me.
Cool. 10 damage for that one.
10 points of damage, halved a little bit because unfortunately the bludgeoning damage is not magical, but you do see this thing kind of like gets pummeled on its back, these giant rocks of ice, and then it just kind of flicks its wings open as its mouth kind of like roars as its neck whips around in rage at being harmed by these giant chunks of ice. Technically that was 2 spell slots in a turn. I'm not going to worry about it because it was cool, and it
Quickie.
was only a Misty Step, so I'm not going to worry about it. Yes.
Have I run out of a reaction now that I've taken bonus action?
No, you still have reactions. You have reactions. You can take 1 reaction, and then you get your reaction back at the start of your next turn.
Can I, as Sentry is casting that spell, Ice Storm, convert it with chromatic control to acid?
It's one of your two types. You absolutely can.
Oh shit!
Okay.
That's so cool.
So, roll the cold damage, which is now acid damage, because that does have an effect. So you watch
Oh, crap.
as the ice begins forming over the dragon's back, and it begins kind of like, you can see it's not really having much effect. Lucius, you raise out your hands and you see the colors. You see that beautiful blue of the ice magic that Sentry's conjuring, and you kind of pull out some of the orange from your own clothing. You pull out some of the blue from your own clothing, forming these kind of like globules of magic. And then you slam them together and you watch as that blue magic of the ice transforms into orange, as that snow and the ice becomes globs of acid.
Ooh.
How much damage was it, Sentry?
16 damage.
So that does take an effect.
Nice.
See the acid pits and melts,
Awesome.
chipping away at the metal form of the dragon, and this time it really does seem to gets in pain and reaction from that as it does
Nice.
Awesome.
Nice one, Lucius.
Very
That's
cool.
cool.
so amazing.
I think
right,
you should
enemies.
use that kind of spell from here on.
That was really cool.
Right,
Nice
two
one.
flyers. Two of these manta ray winged like humanoids fly up, chasing after Quill and Lucius, kind of flying between the currents. They open their mouths. They're both going to try and spit acid at both of you. I really should have got my dice. This is going to be spit acid. It can replace one of its attacks. 19 to hit you, Quill.
Ah, yep.
And then it's going to throw a javelin at you for
Oh.
24 to hit.
Wowzers.
Yeah.
Okay. You're going to take 11 acid damage from the acid spit and
Okay.
7 points of piercing damage from the javelin. This acid kind of sprays over like your back. The javelin nearly pierces through your wing. You manage to tuck and roll, but you still get harmed by these two attacks as this thing flies after you. Lucius, same attack against you. Let's do this actually. That's a 7 to hit you with the acid. You manage to kind of pull yourself out of the way as the acid flies past your face, as this creature just spits this gross glob of acid at you. And then a 6 as the javelin, as you dodge out the way of the first one, you kind of pull yourself back, the swirling magic around you, this color of blue and orange propelling you through the air. You dodge to either
Holy
side.
crap. Lucius just didn't get hit at all on a turn from an enemy.
He didn't.
What?
Yeah.
Mom, get
The
camera.
dragons
Madness.
go. What's their fly speed? 90 feet. The first dragon flies from one end of the dock. It flies up into the air and positions itself, hovering up in the air, looking down, keeping Quill, Lucius, one of the Wolfpack members, Kamara, Sentry, and another of the Wolfpack members in a line. It opens its mouth and this red hot beam of light comes out of it. I need all of you guys to make Radiant Breath,
Does that count as a spell?
Dexterity saving throw. This is not a spell, it's Dragon's Breath. This is not the same thing
What's
as a spell.
what save? Sorry.
Dexterity saving throw.
14 for me.
I gotta make a bunch of, let's see, 1, 2 of the Wolfpack here. No, they'd be proficient in this, I think. All right, 1 succeeds, 1 fails. Kamara is much higher, actually.
What does the Beacon of Hope do, Thomas?
It.
Fails.
I don't believe it helps here. I think it's wisdom saves. It helps with. Let me see.
Sentry, what'd you
beacon?
get on your dexterity saving throw?
I get. Ooh,
Yeah, it doesn't help here.
8, 9, 10, 11. But with my Shield Master, I can add a +2 to my to a dex save. So
Yeah, is that like a reaction to use?
That's a Shield Master reaction, yeah.
Okay, so you're going to spend your reaction to give yourself that +2?
Yeah, so that's 8, 9, 11, 12, 13.
13, okay. So, Lucius, you managed to kind of, again, using this magic of this fly spell, this new spell, you push yourself out of the way. You're going to take half damage. One of the Wolfpack also manages to roll out of the way. They take no damage because I'm going to give all of the Wolfpack the evasion ability. So if they manage to succeed on a save, they've basically ducked and rolled out of cover. Protects them against
cool.
like big enemy spells.
Cool.
After the Meteor Swarm, I like to think they've all been training at dodging magic attacks against them.
Fair enough.
Which I think makes sense. But Kamara, Quill, and one of the other Wolfpacks are all taking, and Sentry are all taking full damage.
Is it an
Take
effect
26
that
rate-
does, is it that does half damage on a success?
I'm going to say this isn't a spell. It is
Okay.
it is an effect that does half damage on it. If you succeed on a dexterity saving throw, it does do half damage.
Okay.
Is there anything about that I should know?
It says on my Shield Master, if an effect allows
Yeah.
half damage on a success, I can use my reaction to take no damage from that.
Do you want to do that instead of giving yourself the bonus to AC then, because you didn't know that at that time?
I think
You
it's
also-
included. I think it's.
Okay, so it's all part of the same thing.
It's all part
Isn't
of the
that
same
only if you
thing,
pass
yeah.
it though?
Yes, that's
If you
if you
succeed.
succeed, you take no damage.
Can use. I don't know. I don't think it says that. If you aren't incapacitated, you can add your shield's AC bonus to any Dex saving throw you make against effects that target only you. If an effect
Yep.
allows half damage on a success, you can use your reaction to take no damage.
Yeah,
So
so
it
that's
doesn't say about whether I save or not, or if I.
the other tricky thing with that
succeed
is
or
it
not.
doesn't just target you. This is targeting a lot of creatures
Right,
in a
okay.
line, so it's not just targeting
I
you
see.
as a thing. We'll look into this for next week. I will check it and then
Yeah.
I'll get back to you because there may be an errata on this as well. So I'll check
Yeah.
that. For now,
No worries.
26 radiant damage or 13 radiant damage for Lucius and the other Wolfpack member. The Kamara and the Wolfpack member definitely don't look like good after that. They kind of have to throw themselves to the side. Like this beam of light scorches their arms and their limbs. I also need Lucius to make a concentration saving throw for his fly spell.
Oh, that's con, right?
That is just a constitution saving throw.
16.
That's enough. Yeah, you managed to kind of keep control of your flight spell as you just managed to tuck and roll away from this damage. That's dragon's go. The next dragon is going to come and it's going to fight Ayla, and it's going to not use its breath weapon. It's just going to do a 1-2 smackaroo of its own.
Ayla
Also
hasn't
it
trained
uses
for
its
that.
malevolent. It's going to use its malevolent presence as a free action. Ayla and 2 of the Wolfpack crew members, I need you to make wisdom saving throws.
Damn.
Oh, I
Different
rolled a
hope you've gotten
nat
there.
20 the one time that I needed it as well.
That's
So that
very
is
good.
21. Oh,
21.
That's the
You
first time I
feel-
think I've succeeded anything wisdom.
When this thing gets closer to you, Ayla, you feel like this whispering in your mind, this kind of. You feel like angry, and you're looking around like you want to fight something, but you kind of hold it down. You know that this is
I'm already
some
angry.
Zarkira bullshit, exactly. But you know that this is some Zarkira bullshit trying to get in your head. The other Wolfpack crew member beside you kind of does the same thing. He like slams his head a few times. He's like, shut up. But then you look to the left, and the other one, the one who failed, you see their eyes kind of glaze over, and they pull a blade out, and they start looking towards you, Ayla. It's immune to it. A creature charmed this way, fix it on a creature. Okay, on each of its turns. Then the dragon is going to attack you properly, Ayla. So that's just its malevolent presence. So it makes 3 attacks, 2 with its claws, 1 with its tail. So first attack from its claws, a 17 to hit. I'm going to assume that misses.
No,
On a 19 to hit,
just, yeah.
that does hit.
How much damage?
You're going to take 11 points of damage, halved to 5, because you are raging. And then its tail. So one claw swipes overhead. The second one manages to kind of connect with you. You're fending it off with the hammer, pushing against its strength. And then its great metal tail comes slamming down as well. Only a 14. You manage to kind of deflect that away as this thing tries to send a flurry of attacks against you. But none of them quite manage to get through just yet. The dragon is not flying, so it does actually get to attack with its wings as well. So it will attack you with its great metal wings, but that also misses. So I just rolled terribly. 3 3s in a row, or like a bunch of 3s in a row. Terrible. But yeah, you're kind of fending off this dragon as it's clawing up the side of the Stormchaser, trying to get at this foe that's attacked it, as it does so.
And now it's right next to me.
Oh yeah, it wants to be there. One of these large brutes jumps up, this giant armored crab-like figure pulls itself up onto the deck of the Stormchaser, and it's going to move to engage Sentry. For Zakira. And with its giant claws, it's going to make 2 attacks against you, Sentry. First one is a 7. That's a miss. It just doesn't even penetrate through your armor. Second one is a 12. Grips you with both sides. Why no break? Why no break? As it just can't get through. Nova, you see one of these things like banging on this like this barrier that's been erected over the entrance, and then it seems to like stumble back, looks at the wooden wall next to the barrier, and it comes crashing through the wooden wall instead. That's going to be its whole turn. That's going to be its whole turn to do. And then a bunch of these other little figures. They mainly engage the crew of the Stormchaser, except for these two, who are going to move up and get in position, readying attacks against Nova and Thalia. And that, my friends, is where we're going to end today's episode at the start of a brand new round, ready for the crew and Thalia and that to go.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Oh
that's
my
where we're going
god.
to pick up next week.
All kicking off.
Nice.
Oh my
My
god.
god.
Good lord.
This is awesome.
It's
Well,
That's
Avengers
a lot
time,
of
baby.
enemies there, huh?
Vampire.
Got
a
to
lot.
wrap up
Yeah.
relatively fast for Yogg's cast.
Yeah, well, let's wrap
however
up on
we-
Yogs.
We can
Yeah, and then we
continue
can
the
do,
conversation on High Rollers D&D. If you
Yeah.
want to
Exactly.
come over there.
Yeah.
Until then, enjoy Parsec Pals. We'll see you all in
So, yeah.
Yogg's cast next week.
New stream on Yogs. Enjoy. It's our good friends Pedwin and Boba. We're going to continue on our channel, High Rollers D&D. Where we're going to read out some donation messages and talk a little bit about the game.
Yeah.
Bye,
Anyway,
everybody. Bye, 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 bye,
Bye.
bye, bye,
Bye.
see ya.
Except for you on
Hi.
High Rollers.
Hi, hi, hi.
Yeah.
We're here with
Well
you now.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Welcome to the
Welcome
after
back.
party.
What a sesh.
What a
What a
sesh.
sesh.
Yeah.
Another
What
big one.
a session.
It's all right,
oh
wasn't
my
it?
god.
You got
Oh my
yeah.
god.
Everything.
Big old Nova family reunion.
Yeah.
A
good.
not so thin Brexit allegory. Big old
Yeah,
meeting
I was
number
going to
2.
ask, what is
I mean, it wasn't
Vortensar's
intended to be
Brexit
that.
name?
Vexit.
Let me-
It didn't have
let me
one.
sh-
They didn't have
Let
one.
me show you the
Vexing.
Dorton star.
Yeah, the Vexit. Yeah, that really wasn't that intentional. Going back through Kim's notes, it was just like, oh yeah, it's like a big democracy with a council. And then Nova was just like, the people are supposed to vote. I was like, oh yeah, I guess they would. Oh, I'll figure that out. I was just like, yeah. you know.
Oh no.
And then I thought about it,
It
and I
looks
was like,
like
well,
it's mirroring
actually,
real life.
yeah, I was just like, well, yeah, it kind of is kind of, you can trick people into voting for something. Like, yeah. Oh, I wonder where I can draw inspiration for that from. Oh, that's weird.
Weird.
Yeah.
Fake news. Fake news.
Yeah. And then
Curious.
big old meeting number 2.
Yeah.
You've got allies though. Hey,
We
look
do.
at that. I didn't have
Yeah.
everybody turn against you.
Hell yeah.
Yay!
Yeah.
We'll take what we can get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone knows about the eye now.
Yeah.
And now we're fighting
Yeah.
just every dragon in existence. Well,
Yeah.
no.
No, you've got the dragons on your side. These are
No,
fake
not
dragons.
the actual
Yeah.
dragons. Yeah, these are fake
Zarkira
ones.
dragons.
Yeah, these are Zarkira
Yeah.
dragons.
Fake news dragons.
Zarkira's just like, fine, I guess I won't get the storm dragon. I'll just make my own then.
Ugh.
yeah. Yeah, I've
It's
been
fine,
thinking
we'll
a lot
just
about
make
that
allies
Storm
with
Dragon.
all of the actual dragons.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Awesome. That was very, very cool. Really, really cool episode.
A fun one.
A lot of fun. Also, man, I love being back in combat. Been far too long.
Yeah, I missed it. I
was
missed
good.
it.
Yeah.
Good.
I can't
get
remember any
killing
of my
again.
abilities.
I didn't
It's
expect
fine, you'll pick it back up.
this episode, but I'm glad it happened.
It was one of those ones where I'll be honest, it was like I realized that we haven't had combat for a while, and I was like, oh man, we should really have a fight, but it'd be kind of stupid to have one in Horizon. Like, there's no reason. I was like, oh wait, there's a perfect Sky City that I can. That's currently
Some place
defenseless.
that's
I'll just
already
attack
down, It's
that.
already been blown up.
Yeah,
and-
let's go attack
get
that.
punched again. Gusthaven.
Give it a good old punch. But no, it was also I wanted this to be like a really good Avengers moment for you guys to feel like superheroes, where it's like you're fucking
Yeah.
teleported in by your badass sorcerer friend, and now you
Did
get to
feel
come
like
in and
that.
save the city and
Yeah.
be cool superheroes.
Man, yeah. I mean, using new
Yes.
abilities and also
Save.
comboing up abilities. That's some cool shit right there.
Yeah, that,
That was
Yeah,
oh,
that
so
combo was
cinematic.
great.
yeah.
I just want to imagine
Mwah.
the dun 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 dun.
Your captain is here! Don't waste my
Right from the
money!
Avengers theme song.
I think it's just like for
That
me.
Lucius moment was so cool, and then it was like, "Don't waste my money. Don't scratch the ship. Don't.
I just
don't."
paid for this.
It was
very
very
Tony
Lucius.
Stark. It's very yeah.
It was
it's very
very Lucius
It's
as
very
well.
yeah. Exactly. I love it.
I just
I love
paid
it.
for this. Don't mention
Please,
it.
David.
Hey, who wants some donations? No
we
one?
already have them.
All right,
I want
stream's
to hear
over
what
then.
their messages
Bye.
are, though.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, we had a donation from Aerois. Hi guys, been watching for a couple of years after watching the Dice Hard one-shot during Jingle Jam and have been a huge fan since.
Awesome.
Also, question for Mark, is the injury table you use available anywhere?
I think
is
I
it?
posted a version on my Patreon, maybe.
I think you also posted it on your Twitter. I think if you literally Google Mark Hume's injury table, it's there. I'd love to use it in my campaign too. I think it was a very early version of it. And I think it's been adjusted since.
Yes. It's a very early version, and I'll be honest, the injury table is a lot of fun. It has problems. So use it, but make sure your players are okay with you using it. Mine were. Make sure you check.
Some more okay than others. Salvo Gav with a $250. Thank you for everything you're giving us during these tough times. Thank you very much, Salvo Gav. Thank you very much indeed. Serico has donated with, I was told to blast Peary in the donations, so damn you, Peary. And what the H, Tom? That wasn't me. That wasn't me.
It's all you, Tom. You created that
Damn
character.
it, Tom.
made him.
Honestly.
I just want to point
What are you
in Tom's
thinking,
background that he sent to me for Piri, it said, will betray the party at high level, later totally join Starbane, super evil dude. Like, he put that in his description.
In bold,
Yeah,
I think.
I'm not surprised. Not surprised.
Yeah, the character idea, I didn't even write Peary. It was literally just give me a character that will screw over the party at some point.
And Quill was
Peary
born.
is, yeah.
Sorry.
Mr. Kikis has donated with, you didn't know what you voted for? It wasn't explained to you? Mark uses Brexit in Aerois. Plus, please say happy birthday to Joe from MCM London, 11 tomorrow, and still watching every week. Well, Joe, very happy
Joe?
birthday. Sorry about the
Happy
language.
Happy birthday, Joe.
Happy
birthday,
birthday.
Joe.
They
Big
must
happy
know.
birthday to
They
you.
must know.
Yeah.
I think it's too late.
Happy
for me.
birthday.
Happy birthday.
Sanic has donated with a $250. Listened since December and finally caught up and can watch live for the first time. Happy Easter from Sweden, Coggers. Well done on catching up, Sanic, which is what Sanic do, because he's Speedy Boy. Get it?
I can't believe
Anyway,
the Sanic.
the Sanic the Hedgehog. Zuko with a $250. Don't mind me, just drinking boiling water. My party IDM4 has a CR5 monster as a pet, and one of my PCs is being worshipped by a goblin named Smeek. It is a pain to balance encounters, but it's all worth it in the end. Smeek T-poses on trot. There you go.
Balance schmalance.
Evenentity has donated with, hey all, first time actually able to catch watching live, and I wanted to say thank you for everything. You hear it a lot, but I love the story y'all tell. Mark, you truly are an amazing storyteller. Take the compliment. You deserve the praise. That wasn't me. That was actually a donation that said that one. I was about to add that in there myself. Yep. Love y'all and keep it up. Thank you very much. Marsh Tom, Ree, Katie, Kim, Troth, Matt. You all good, Munka?
Mershtump.
Marsh Tom is very good. Even more
Can
so
you
after
start
meeting
calling
Mr.
him, like,
Nova.
Can you call him like Merstamp or something from now on? He gets our names wrong.
I can. Yeah, all right. Merstamp. Good one, Mark. Good one.
It's only fair.
Got him.
Marshtomp is very good, even more so after meeting Mr. Nova. Do you know what we both have in common? We both wholesome, moist boys. Marshtomp has an idol. Thank you, Matt. Starbane owes Quill money, he do. That's it. I dunny Ken with a full hundo. I dunny Ken.
Oh. Thank you,
Okay.
Idenican.
Thank you very much, Ideniken. Hi, Rollers.
Yum,
Having
yum.
a second birthday under lockdown. Yep. Thank you for providing the intense political drama entertainment nodders. Hope you are all doing well. Thank you very much. And
Thank you
also,
very much.
happy birthday and happy second birthday.
Happy
in
birthday.
lockdown too. Yeah, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Danny Dynamo, $30 dues. VOD Squad today, but I just wanted to say I love you guys. And the last stream, when you had Nova get the message about her family and then revealed her city had already joined Starbane, I was physically shaking. I love you guys so much. Very much. Varys has donated with no message. Thank you very much. Bikum has donated $250. Still on episode 105, not far away. But I just wanted to say you guys have been killing it recently. We got one mark. We've been killing it, King. The role play with the characters is on point. And Mark's storytelling is amazing. You guys are the best. Winky face. I hope that winky face doesn't mean sarcasm, but thank you very much. The Herv. Hi, Rollers. VOD Squad for me today. Just wanted to wish you all a happy Easter, a time where we all sit and remember the first Brookstoning, that fateful night where Brookstone betrayed the goodwill of our fine heroes. Have a warm plate on me. Remember the Brookstone. Remember the Brookstone.
Remember them.
I remember them all.
Forget. I don't think we could.
Oh, you need to stop. Please stop.
Mershtamp has donated again with, "Oh, Matt, you've done it again, you son of a bitch. You've done it. Marshtomp is having a big goosebump. Marsh bumps and shivers. Ah, so good. Big Avengers energy.
It's triggering me so hard. I can't.
If Marshtomp was there, he'd be on your left each week
What is?
as an epic.
What?
Marshtomp out. There you go. Thank you very much. Mershtamp. Blue with $250 and no message. Thank you very much. Mershtamp again. I knew Matt Avengers energy. I was right. I have to say that Matt looks great. Marshtomp's been making maps for his game with his friends, and it's though, but practice makes perfect. I have my statue to A Plumbus I use for inspiration and Stormchasers assemble. Thank you very much, Mershtamp.
Can no one else hear that? Am I going crazy?
No.
Nobody else can hear anything.
I can't hear anything.
It's you.
Trot, what have you done?
I've done nothing to you.
It's you. It's something on your end.
What's happening?
What are you
hearing?
What?
Twitch
you
opened
done?
another
For
window and it was
fuck's
playing
sake.
the audio.
You moron!
He was recording it and playing it back to me. I was just like, what's he doing? Why is he doing this to me? It was triggering me
Always
so hard.
Twitch open on your computer. Whenever you have this issue, always check that first.
Every single time. Caro Cactus with a half hundo. With a half hundo from Caro Cactus. Thank you very much. Caught up for the first time in months. Equal parts excited and terrified for epic level fighting. You got this, Stormchasers. Hides under the table. Thank you very much, Caro Cactus, and welcome. Luckless has donated with, Luckless is back, so here's some birthday money. Happy birthday. Do you remember me?
Yeah.
I now DM a new group in a campaign in my new homebrew world. I also play Curse of Strahd with my OG group. My burb fighter was recently rezzed. P.S. Will you finish High Roller's Descent? Maybe? No? Mark, do you watch JJBA? JoJo's Bizarre Adventure?
Yada yada. That answers the question.
You can just say no. Sir King God has donated with, "Hey everyone, VOD Squad for me tonight as usual. Really looking forward to seeing what Mark has set for the event, Avengers, AE Vengers. You're all wonderful people who have really helped so many keep rolling high." We were rolling high today. It was actually pretty dang good. Daft Day 41, oh boy, it's all kicking off. Just wait until the reunion through the portal part of Endgame with all the friends we made along the way. Clear skies, everybody. Oh, I can't wait. Darko Con has
I'll cry
donated
if that
as well
happens.
with, "If anything happens to Aradan, I'm not sure I can carry on." Well, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. That's
Nobody
for sure,
likes
but
him
we'll
that
see.
much, right?
He's dead.
Yeah.
I do.
Exactly.
Cool.
I like it.
Nobody likes him that much.
Yeah.
No,
If you
wait,
put-
no.
If you put an... But have you not seen that one before?
So you just
Did you see the
malfunction.
gift?
I was waiting for you to
that's all
finish
right.
your
T-shirt
sentence.
face.
Oh, well, it sounded like you were going to say something, so I stopped.
I think
You
he's
didn't stop.
malfunctioned,
You just
guys.
you were saying something and then you went bleh, and that was the end of it.
What was I saying? I don't even remember what I was
"Oh my
talking
God."
Shit
I was
about
gonna
Aerois.
say something.
Just some shit
He's
about
gone.
Rose. It's fine.
He's gone.
We had
He hasn't
some,
eaten since lunch,
gifted
guys.
He's not had lunch. He's not had lunch.
We had gifted subs
No.
from Michael is shit, Being Wolfie, John 230,
Maybe restaurants or something.
Squibbies, Cooper Orc, and Jolar. Thank you for the gifted subs. We had bits from Trumpol, Serico, Saramana did $24 dues in bits. Hi Has Funk 420 did a 420 with a Happy Easter from California. Thank you. And Yogdonos from Olarenve with no message. Thank you. Ace of Thorns. Don't care if anyone says it before me, but Stormchasers assemble! Hugs and Happy Easter. Thank you very much. And the best sub message of the day from Nightjar was from Grandmaster DJ. My sub baby is about the size of a squash. Gross. Thank you very much for those.
Thanks for the super gross message.
And that is all done. Thank you very much.
That's all she
everyone.
wrote.
That's all she wrote. It's all
That's all
they
she
wrote. 2021.
Are we collectively having a group breakdown here? Is this what's
I think
happening?
we might
I feel
be.
like we're
Yeah.
going through something here. Yeah.
Yep.
I feel very confused and very scared.
It's
And,
combat.
and
That's what combat
I really
does.
want bacon.
Sure.
Yeah.
So,
My
fine.
brain just doesn't work anymore. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks
Have
for
you
a
got
great
the
episode,
capacity to do an
everybody.
outro?
Yeah. Thanks very much, everybody, for watching the episode. Thank you for all your support and donations.
Thank
Please
you.
do check out our sponsor, D&D Beyond. Remember to use that
yeah.
link. If you create an account, if you subscribe, if you do anything after clicking that link, it's a huge help for us because it shows that you came to the site from us and then you engage with it. It's a whole algorithmic thing.
thing.
Please do that. We'll be back next week. Hopefully, Curse of Strahd next week. We took this week off because a lot of people were busy, but we're going to play it by ear. A lot of people have been very busy. Stay tuned on our Twitter for that. And then more Aerois next Sunday is the plan. That's it. Put me back in my
That's it.
cryo chamber, please.
Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Great.
Bye.
Take care.
I won't go any lower.
Happy Easter.
Yum, yum.